Ruthless Vows. Chapter 1. The Predator's Gaze. The champagne flute trembles in my hand. I tell myself it's to chill the crystal, the way condensation beads against my palm in the overheated ballroom. But that's a lie. I've been lying to myself all evening, pretending I don't feel his eyes on me, tracking my every movement through the glittering crowd, like a wolf watching prey stumble through snow. 3 hours. He's been watching for 3 hours. I know because I've counted every unbearable minute since I first caught his reflection in the bar mirror. Dark suit sharp enough to cut. Jaw carved from granite. Eyes so pale they seem to burn through the distance between us. Silver gray and absolutely merciless. "Emily, you're being paranoid," my best friend Ava whispers, adjusting the strap of my emerald dress with practiced efficiency. She works in PR, which means she spent years perfecting the art of making disasters look deliberate. Tonight, I'm the disaster. He's probably just admiring the view. "You look incredible." I don't feel incredible. I feel exposed. The Manhattan Art Gallery buzzes with New York's elite. Collectors with more money than taste, artists desperate for validation, socialites hunting for their next Instagram moment. My paintings hang on these walls, my soul stripped bare for public consumption, and somehow that feels less vulnerable than the weight of his stare. Who is he? I manage, voice steadier than my pulse. Ava follows my gaze and goes pale. Actually pale, which is impressive considering she once negotiated a merger during a fire alarm without breaking a sweat. "That's Dominic Carver," she breathes. "Oh, God, Emily. Don't make eye contact." Too late. Our eyes lock across the room, and the air leaves my lungs in a rush. He doesn't smile, doesn't acknowledge the moment in any conventional way. But something shifts in his expression, a predator recognizing a challenge. Then he starts walking toward me, and every instinct I possess screams run. I don't run. I'm not sure my legs would obey if I tried. "What do you mean, don't make eye contact?" I hiss at Ava, but she's already backing away, mumbling something about checking on the caterers. Traitor. The crowd parts for him. They don't even seem to realize they're doing it. Bodies shifting unconsciously to clear his path. He moves with the fluid grace of someone who's never questioned his right to take up space, to demand attention, to own whatever room he enters. By the time he reaches me, my heart is hammering so hard I'm certain he can see it beneath the thin silk of my dress. "Impressive work," he says, voice low and smooth as expensive whiskey. British accent, but faded, like he spent years sanding away anything that might make him seem soft. His eyes drift to the painting behind me, one of my darker pieces. A woman wrapped in shadows, reaching toward light she'll never touch. "You have a gift for capturing desperation." The insult lands like a caress. "Thank you," I reply, lifting my chin. I aim to disturb. Mission accomplished. His gaze returns to me, and this time it lingers, tracing the line of my throat, the exposed curve of my shoulder, the racing pulse at my wrist. Clinical, assessing, though I wonder if you understand what you're revealing. Heat crawls up my spine, equal parts anger and something far more dangerous. "And what's that?" He leans closer, not touching, but close enough that I catch his scent, cedar and smoke, and something darker, something that makes my body tighten with unwanted awareness. "That you're running from something," he murmurs, "and you're terrified it's going to catch you." The words hit too close to truth. I've spent 6 months rebuilding my life after my father's financial empire collapsed, taking my trust fund, my reputation, and my illusions of family loyalty with it. This gallery show is supposed to be my fresh start, my proof that I'm more than Jonathan Hartley's disappointing daughter. "You don't know anything about me," I say, but it sounds defensive even to my own ears. "I know enough." His smile is a knife's edge. "I know your father owes dangerous people a great deal of money. I know you've been selling off-family heirlooms to keep your studio. I know you haven't spoken to him in 3 months, but you still pay your mother's medical bills." Ice floods my veins. "How do you—" "I make it my business to know things, Miss Hartley." He straightens, adjusting his cufflinks with deliberate precision, each movement calculated, each second designed to let his words sink deeper, especially about people who interest me. "I don't interest you. I snap, finding my spine at last. You don't even know me. Not yet. The promise in those 2 words makes my skin prickle. But I will. Your father's debts are being called in. Tomorrow, actually. He can't pay. My stomach drops. What does that have to do with me? Everything. Dominic produces a business card from his pocket, pressing it into my palm. His fingers brush mine. Deliberate contact that sends electricity shooting up my arm. When he comes to you desperate and begging, remember this conversation. Remember that I gave you a choice before everything falls apart. A choice. I stare at the card. Heavy stock, minimalist design. Just his name and a phone number. No company, no title. What kind of choice? His eyes glitter with something that might be amusement, if it weren't so cold. The kind that determines whether your family survives or burns. That's not. But he's already turning away, melting back in the crowd with the same effortless grace he arrived with. Within seconds, he's gone, leaving nothing but his card burning in my hand and the ghost of his cologne in the air. My phone vibrates. Dad's name flashes across the screen, and my blood turns to ice water. We need to talk. Now. Don't ignore this, Emily. Another text follows immediately. They're coming for us. For you. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. The gallery spins. The noise of the crowd becomes white static. I look down at Dominic Carver's card, at the stark simplicity of his name printed in black on cream, and some part of me already knows. This isn't coincidence. This isn't chance. This is a trap, and I walked right into it the moment I let him catch my eye. My father's 3rd text arrives as I'm pushing through the crowd toward the exit, desperate for air. He owns us now. He owns everything. You have to. The message cuts off mid-sentence. Outside, the October air bites through my thin dress, but I barely feel it. My hands shake as I dial my father's number. It rings, and rings, and rings. No answer. Looking for someone? I spin. And there he is, Dominic Carver, leaning against a black car that probably costs more than my yearly rent. The streetlight casts half his face in shadow, making him look even more dangerous than he did inside. A driver stands by the open rear door, patient and expressionless. My father, I say, hating how my voice wavers. What did you do to him? Nothing. He pushes off the car, closing the distance between us with measured steps. Yet, that depends entirely on you. Stop talking in riddles. Anger finally breaks through my fear, hot and bright. If you have something to say, just say it. All right. He stops less than a foot away, close enough that I have to tilt my head back to hold his gaze, close enough that I feel the heat radiating from his body, smell the expensive cologne mixing with something uniquely him. Your father gambled away money that wasn't his, money belonging to people who don't forgive debts. I bought that debt, which means I own him, and by extension, I own you. You don't own anyone, I spit, but my voice shakes. Don't I? His hand rises, and I flinch. But he only brushes a strand of hair from my face, tucking it behind my ear with surprising gentleness. The contrast between the touch and his words makes my head spin. Your father signed papers. Legal papers. Quite recently, actually. About an hour ago. Papers for what? His smile is pure winter. A marriage contract. Between you and me. You have 72 hours to decide. Walk down the aisle willingly, or watch your father go to prison for fraud. Your mother's medical care ends immediately. Your little sister's college fund disappears. Everything you have left burns. The world tilts. You can't be serious. I'm always serious about business, Miss Hartley. He steps back, gesturing toward the open car door. Get in. We have details to discuss. I'm not getting in that car. Then I'll have this conversation on the street. He shrugs, utterly unbothered. But you should know, the people your father stole from, they're watching, right now, deciding whether you're worth keeping alive or whether you're just another loose end to tie off. My skin crawls. I scan the street, seeing nothing but shadows and parked cars. But that doesn't mean he's lying. 72 hours, I repeat numbly. Starting now. He checks his watch. Expensive, understated. probably worth more than my car. I suggest you don't waste time. Every cell in my body screams at me to run, to fight, to do anything except climb into that car with a man who just told me he owns me. But my father's desperate texts burn in my mind. My mother's medical bills. My sister's future. I look at Dominic Carver, this beautiful, terrifying stranger who somehow knows everything about my broken family, and realize he's not offering me a choice at all. He's offering me a cage. I take a step toward the car. Then another. The driver's expression never changes as I slide into the leather interior, my dress whispering against the seat. Dominic follows, settling beside me with predatory satisfaction. The door closes with an expensive, final-sounding thunk. "Smart girl," he murmurs as the car pulls away from the curb. "Carry me away from my gallery show, from my life, from everything I thought I knew." His hand finds mine in the darkness between us, thumb tracing circles on my palm that feel possessive and oddly gentle at once. "Don't worry, Emily," he says, voice dropping to something almost intimate. "You'll learn to enjoy your cage. I'll make certain of." His phone erupts with sound, sharp, urgent. He pulls it out, and I watch his expression shift from satisfaction to something darker, something deadly, when he snaps into the phone. Then, "No, keep her there. I'm coming now." He looks at me, and for the first time since we met, I see something like genuine emotion in those ice-gray eyes. "Fear. Change of plans," he tells the driver. "The warehouse. Now." "What's happening?" I demand, but he's already pulling away, creating distance as he fires off rapid instructions in a language I don't recognize. The car accelerates, taking a sharp turn that throws me against the door. Through the window, I watch my neighborhood disappear, replaced by industrial buildings and empty streets. Dominic. Quiet. The command is absolute, and something in his tone makes me obey. We pull up to a warehouse. The driver barely stops before Dominic is out, moving with that same lethal grace toward a side entrance where two men wait. They're speaking rapidly, urgently, and even from the car I can see the tension in their postures. Then I see her, a woman, dragged between two more men, blood on her face, her hands bound. Dominic's entire body goes rigid. He says something low and deadly, and the men holding her immediately release her. She stumbles, and he catches her, his touch suddenly, shockingly gentle. He's touching her the way he touched me, looking at her with something like, "No." The driver clears his throat. "Miss Hartley, Mr. Carver says you should wait here." But I'm already watching through the window as Dominic helps the woman toward a waiting car. She leans into him, familiar, trusting, and I realize with sick certainty that I know nothing about the man who just claimed to own me. Nothing except that he's far more dangerous than I imagined. The woman looks back at the warehouse, and even through the distance and darkness, I see her mouth form words. They know everything. Dominic's head snaps toward our car, toward me, and the last thing I see before the driver starts the engine is a decision crystallizing in those cold gray eyes. A decision that looks an awful lot like Chapter 2, The Devil's Contract. The car ride back feels like falling through ice. Dominic sits across from me now. He'd switched seats without explanation, putting maximum distance between us in the confined space. His jaw is locked, eyes fixed on his phone screen as messages pour in, each one making his expression harder, more remote. The woman, the blood, the way he touched her. Who was she? The words escape before I can stop them. No one you need to concern yourself with. He doesn't look up. You just derailed our entire conversation to rescue a bleeding woman from a warehouse. My voice rises despite my attempt at control. That seems like something I should concern myself with, considering you claim to own me. That gets his attention. His eyes snap to mine, and the intensity in them steals my breath. I don't claim to own you, Emily. I do own you. Legally, contractually, completely. He leans forward, elbows on his knees, and the small space between us suddenly feels suffocating. And the sooner you understand that, the easier this will be. Nothing about this will be easy. I match his stare, refusing to look away even as my heart hammers. You can't force someone to marry you. There are laws. Laws are for people who can't afford to break them. His smile is knife sharp. Your father's signature is on a contract. You marry me, or he goes to prison for embezzlement, fraud, and theft from some very creative accountants I employ. Your choice. That's not a choice. That's extortion. Semantics. The car pulls up to a building I don't recognize. Glass and steel, modern and cold. The driver opens my door, and Dominic is already out, adjusting his cuffs like we just arrived at a business meeting rather than the scene of my life's destruction. Where are we? My lawyer's office. He offers his hand to help me out, and I ignore it, climbing out on my own. Something flashes in his eyes. Amusement, maybe, or irritation. We're signing papers. Tonight, absolutely not. I plant my feet on the sidewalk. I need time. I need to talk to my father, to understand what's actually happening. Your father is on a plane to the Cayman Islands as we speak. Dominic checks his watch again, and I notice the slight tremor in his hand. Barely there, but present. He's not as controlled as he pretends. I'm giving him 12 hours to move money he doesn't have, to convince people he can't pay that he's good for his debts. It won't work, but it will buy him time. Time you're wasting. My stomach twists. You sent him away? I saved his life. The words are flat, matter-of-fact. The people he stole from don't negotiate. They don't offer payment plans. They kill, and they make it hurt. Your father has until tomorrow night to produce $3 million he doesn't have, or they'll start with his fingers and work their way up. The sidewalk seems to shift beneath my feet. $3 million. Dad said the business was struggling, but this... I don't have that kind of money. I whisper. I know, but I do. Dominic's hand settles on my lower back, guiding me toward the building with inexorable pressure. And I'll pay it, every cent, in exchange for your signature on a very simple document, a marriage certificate. Among other things. The lobby is empty, lights dim for after hours. Our footsteps echo against marble as Dominic leads me to a private elevator. Inside, he presses the button for the top floor and the doors slide closed, sealing us in together. Why me? The question bursts out, desperate. If you need a wife for some business deal or immigration scheme or whatever this is, there are thousands of women who would jump at the chance. Women who actually like you. His laugh is soft and humorless. I don't need anyone to like me, Emily. I need someone who can't refuse. Someone who understands that there's no escape, no alternative, no negotiation. Someone who will do exactly what I say when I say it, without question. I'll never do that. The words taste like defiance and ash. You can force me to sign papers, but you can't force me to obey you. The elevator dings. The doors open. We'll see, he murmurs, and there's something in his voice that makes my skin prickle with warning. The law office is exactly what I'd expect. All dark wood and leather. The kind of place where fortunes are made and destroyed with signatures. A woman in an immaculate suit waits by a conference table covered in documents. Mr. Carver. She nods crisply. Everything is prepared as requested. Thank you, Patricia. Dominic finally releases my back, moving to the table. Miss Hartley, this is Patricia Vance. She'll be witnessing our agreement. I don't move from the doorway. I want my own lawyer. You can't afford one. He doesn't look at me, already scanning documents with practiced efficiency. But I've had Patricia include several clauses that protect you. You'll have access to your own money, your own space. I'm not a monster, Emily. You're blackmailing me into marriage. That's literally the definition of monstrous. Then call me a monster who keeps his word. He looks up, and something in his expression shifts, becomes almost earnest. Sign these papers. Marry me in 72 hours, and your family is safe. Your father's debts disappear. Your mother continues treatment at the best facility in the country. Your sister finishes school. You get to keep your studio, your art, everything that matters to you. Except my freedom. Freedom is overrated. He picks up a pen, rolling it between his fingers. Security, protection, stability, those are worth far more, and I can give you all three. In exchange for what? What do you actually get out of this? His smile returns, sharp and satisfied. You. The word hangs in the air between us, loaded with implications I don't want to examine. Patricia clears her throat delicately. Perhaps Miss Hartley would like to review the documents? I can answer any questions about the terms. I force myself forward, legs shaking. The table is covered in paper, page after page of legal terminology I barely understand. But certain phrases jump out. Term of marriage, minimum 5 years. Ground for dissolution, mutual consent only. Living arrangements, shared residence determined by Mr. Carver. 5 years. I choke on the number. You want me to pretend to be your wife for 5 years. I don't want you to pretend anything. Dominic comes to stand beside me, close enough that his sleeve brushes my bare arm. I want you to be my wife. In every sense of the word. Heat floods my face. I'm not sleeping with you. That's not in the contract. He sounds amused now, which only makes my humiliation worse. Though I should mention, separate bedrooms are also not in the contract. We'll be living together, Emily, closely. The world needs to believe this marriage is real, which means acting like it's real, in public and in private. Define private, I manage, hating how breathless I sound. His finger traces down the page, stopping at a clause near the bottom. You'll attend all social functions as my wife. You'll live in my home. You'll have dinner with me every evening I'm in the country. You'll accompany me to business meetings when I request it. And his voice drops lower, intimate. You'll share my bed. Absolutely not. Share, Emily, not sleep with. There's a difference. His breath stirs my hair. Though if you change your mind about the sleeping arrangements, I'm open to renegotiation. I jerk away from him, pulse racing. You're enjoying this. I'm enjoying watching you process it, yes. He doesn't try to close the distance again, but his eyes track my every movement. You're stronger than I expected. Most people would be in tears by now. Maybe I'm saving my tears for when you're not watching. Fair enough. He holds out the pen. Last chance to read through everything. Patricia has included protections for you. Financial security, property rights, even an escape clause if I violate certain terms. She's one of the best lawyers in the city, and despite what you think, I don't want you trapped in something genuinely harmful. I take the pen, fingers brushing his. That same electric jolt runs through me, and from the way his eyes darken, he feels it too. Why does it have to be marriage? I flip through pages, trying to focus on words that keep blurring. Why not just pay off the debt? Why drag me into this at all? Because I need a wife. His voice is carefully neutral now, businessman flat. For reasons that don't concern you. And your father's situation presented an opportunity. A mutually beneficial arrangement. Beneficial for who? Both of us, eventually. He moves to the window, staring out at the city lights. You'll understand in time. I want to throw the pen at his head. Instead, I force myself to read. Actually read, looking for loopholes or traps or anything that might give me leverage later. Patricia was right. There are protections. An allowance that's more than I make in a year. Full ownership of my art and any income it generates. Medical care for my mother, fully covered. College tuition for my sister, paid in full. Even a clause about emotional and physical abuse that would nullify the contract immediately. It's generous. Almost suspiciously so. What's the catch? I ask, setting down the pen. Dominic turns from the window. No catch, just the terms we discussed. Nobody offers this much for nothing. There has to be something you're not telling me. For a long moment, he just looks at me, then he crosses a room in 3 strides, stopping so close I feel his body heat through my dress. The catch, he says quietly, is that for the next 5 years you're mine. Your time, your presence, your name. You'll stand beside me at events where people try to buy you, threaten you, seduce you away from me. You'll smile and play the role of devoted wife, while my enemies search for weaknesses. You'll live in a world where trust is currency and betrayal is common as breathing. He reaches up, and this time I don't pull away as his fingers brush my cheek. The catch is that I'm not a good man, Emily. I've done things that would make you run screaming. if you knew the details. And by marrying me, you're painting a target on your back. Everyone who wants to hurt me will want to hurt you first. Then why? Because I need you more than I need your safety. The admission seems to cost him something. And because your father's debt gave me leverage I couldn't pass up. I'm sorry for that. But I'm not sorry enough to let you walk away. My phone buzzes. I pull it out with shaking hands, seeing my sister's name flash across the screen. Dad called. He's crying. He won't tell me what's wrong. Mom's asking for you. What's happening? Another text immediately follows. Please tell me this isn't about money again. Please tell me we're not losing everything. I close my eyes, feeling the weight of their hope crushing my chest. My brilliant little sister who wants to be a doctor. My mother who's been fighting cancer for 2 years, who deserves peace and comfort in whatever time she has left. My father who gambled it all away and dragged us down with him. If I sign this, I say slowly, opening my eyes to meet Dominic's. You'll protect them? All of them? No matter what. You have my word. Your word doesn't mean anything to me. Then let me earn it. He picks up the pen, pressing it back into my palm. His hand covers mine, warm and possessive. Sign, and I'll prove that I keep my promises. All of them. The pen feels like a weapon, or a noose. I look at Patricia, who's been silent through this entire exchange. These protections, they're real? Legally binding. Completely, she confirms. I wouldn't have drawn up the contract otherwise. Mr. Carver was very specific about ensuring your welfare. How generous of him. I mutter, but I'm already moving toward the table, pen in hand. The signature line seems to glow in the lamplight. My name, waiting to be written. My freedom, waiting to be traded. I think about my mother's medical bills. My sister's acceptance letter to Johns Hopkins. My father's desperate text. I think about the woman in the warehouse, bleeding and terrified. About Dominic's hand on my back, possessive and inescapable. I think about 5 years of my life, signed away with a flourish of ink. The pen touches paper. Wait! Dominic's hand covers mine again, stopping me mid-signature. Before you sign, there's something you should know. I look up at him, and for the first time since we met, he looks uncertain, almost vulnerable. What? The woman from earlier, the one at the warehouse. He swallows hard, and I watch his throat work. She's... His phone erupts again. This time when he answers, his entire body goes rigid. Say that again, he snaps. Then quieter. How many? I watch color drain from his face. Get everyone out. Now. I don't care about the inventory. Just get them out. The phone goes dead. Not hung up, dead. The screen goes black, and Dominic stares at it like it's bitten him. What's happening? I ask, pen still hovering over paper. He looks at me, and there's something new in his eyes. Something that looks almost like panic. We need to finish this. Now. He grabs a pen from my hand and physically guides my fingers around it. Sign it. Sign it right now, Emily. Tell me what's happening. Sign it. The roar makes me flinch, makes Patricia actually step back. And then the lights go out. All of them. Every light in the building, the whole city block, just gone. Emergency lighting flickers on, casting everything in sickly red. Patricia gasps. Dominic pulls me against his chest, one arm banding around my waist like iron. Don't move, he breathes against my ear. Don't make a sound. Through the window, I see smoke rising from somewhere downtown. Lots of it. And beneath us, deep in the building, I hear something that makes my blood freeze. Footsteps. Multiple sets. Coming up the stairs fast. Too late, Dominic whispers, and I feel his whole body coil with tension. They found us. Who found us? His answer is drowned out by the sound of the stairwell door exploding inward, followed by shouts in a language I don't understand and the distinctive click of guns being cocked. Dominic's arm tightens around me, pulling me toward the emergency exit. But before we can move, before I can even scream, a man steps through the shattered doorway. He's smiling. Hello, Dominic. He says in accented English. Thank you for bringing her directly to us. That makes this so much easier. And he raises his gun, pointing it directly at Chapter 3, Blood and Diamonds. The gun isn't pointed at Dominic. It's pointed at me. Time fractures into crystalline shards, each second stretched impossibly thin. I see the man's finger tighten on the trigger, see Dominic's body already moving to shield mine, see Patricia diving behind the conference table with surprising agility for someone in 4-inch heels. Then everything explodes into motion. Dominic yanks me sideways, so hard my shoulder screams in protest. The gunshot sounds impossibly loud in confined space, and something hot whistles past my ear, so close I feel the displacement of air against my skin. We hit the floor hard. His body covered mine completely. One hand cupped the back of my head to keep it from cracking against marble. Stay down. He growls against my neck, and then he's moving again, rolling us behind a leather sofa that won't stop bullets but might slow them down. More shots. The window behind us explodes into glittering fragments, raining glass down like deadly snow. I can't breathe, can't think beyond the primal terror flooding my system and the solid weight of Dominic press against me, warm and alive, and shielding me with his own body. How many? Dominic shouts, and I realize he's not talking to me. For in the stairwell, Patricia calls back, and her voice is steady professional, like she's reporting quarterly earnings instead of an armed assault. She has a gun in her hand. Where did she get a gun? 2 more coming from the elevator. The building's compromised. Back up. 6 minutes out. We don't have 6 minutes. Dominic shifts, and I feel something hard press against my hip. He's armed too. Of course he is. Emily, listen to me very carefully. His face hovers inches from mine, those gray eyes burning with intensity. There's blood on his cheek, a cut from flying glass, and the sight of it makes something primal and terrified claw at my chest. When I move, you run for the service elevator. Patricia will cover you. His thumb brushes my cheekbone, almost tender despite the chaos erupting around us. Don't stop. Don't look back. Just run. What about you? I'll be right behind you. Liar. The word comes out broken. You're going to do something stupid and heroic and get yourself killed. Something flashes across his face. Surprise, maybe, or something softer. Would you care if I did? Another volley of gunfire prevents my answer. The sofa jerks with impact, stuffing exploding from the leather. Dominic curses in what might be Russian and presses something cold and heavy into my hand. A gun. He's giving me a gun. Safety's off, he murmurs. Point and shoot. It's that simple. I can't. You can. You will. His hand covers mine, guiding my finger to the trigger. These men won't hesitate. Don't you hesitate either. Dominic. But he's already moving, fluid and lethal, rising from behind the sofa with his own weapon raised. He fires 3 times in rapid succession. Someone screams. I hear a body hit the floor. Now, Emily. Patricia appears beside me, grabbing my arm and hauling me to my feet. She's stronger than she looks, practically dragging me across the office as bullets chew through drywall and shatter more glass. The service elevator seems impossibly far away, and every instinct screams at me to drop, to hide, to make myself small. But Patricia moves like she's done this before, zigzagging between cover points with practiced efficiency. We're halfway across the room when one of the attackers appears in front of us, gun rising. Patricia doesn't hesitate. 2 shots, center mass, and he goes down. Move. She barks, and I move. Behind us, Dominic is still fighting. I risk a glance back and see him in hand-to-hand combat with 2 men, moving with brutal precision. He breaks one man's arm, takes his weapon, uses it to pistol whip the second before firing again. He's not a businessman. Not really. He's a predator, and I just got a glimpse of the real Dominic Carver beneath the expensive suits and cold control. Patricia slams her hand against the elevator call button. Nothing happens. She tries again, cursing. It's disabled, she says, already changing course. Stairs. We take the stairs. They came from the stairs. We go down, they're coming up. Move faster than they do. She reloads her weapon with smooth efficiency. Can you run in those heels? I kicked him off without answering, the marble cold against my bare feet. Now I can. Her smile is fierce and approving. I see why he likes you. We hit the stairwell at a dead run, our footsteps echoing in the concrete shaft. Voices chase us from above, angry, urgent, getting closer. Patricia takes the stairs 3 at a time, and I follow, lungs burning, the gun heavy and awkward in my grip. 10 floors. 9. 8. A door slams above us. Footsteps thundering down. They're gaining. I gasp. Let them. Patricia stops suddenly on the 7th-floor landing, pressing herself against the wall and gesturing for me to do the same. When they round that corner, you shoot. Don't think. Don't hesitate. Just shoot. My hands shake so badly I nearly drop the gun. I can't just kill someone. They won't hesitate to kill you. Her voice is hard, flat. Your choice. Your life or theirs. The footsteps are closer now. I can hear them breathing, hear the creak of tactical gear, the click of weapons being readied. I raise the gun, bracing it with both hands the way I've seen in movies. My finger finds a trigger. My heart hammers, so hard I'm certain they can hear it echoing in the stairwell. A shadow appears on the wall above us, growing, stretching. Patricia counts down silently with her fingers. 3, 2, 1. A man rounds a corner, gun sweeping the landing. I pull the trigger. The recoil nearly knocks me backward. The sound is deafening in enclosed space. I see the man's shoulder explode in red. See him stumble, falling. Patricia puts 2 more rounds in his chest before he hits the ground. Keep moving, she says calmly, like I didn't just. I can't process it. Can't think about what I just did, what I'm capable of. So I run instead, following Patricia down flights of stairs that seem endless, my bare feet slapping against concrete, the gun still hot in my hand. We burst out on the 3rd floor, Patricia hauling me into a law firm's reception area. Empty. Dark. She moves to the windows, scanning the street below. Backup's here, she reports. Black SUVs. 3 of them. We get to street level. We run for the middle vehicle. Don't stop for anything. What about Dominic? He can take care of himself. But something flickers across her face. Concern, maybe, or doubt. We need to get you somewhere safe. That's the priority. Why? The question bursts out as we move toward the elevators. Different ones, hopefully operational. Why am I the priority? He's the one they're trying to kill. Patricia jabs the elevator button, and miracle of miracles, it lights up. You really don't know, do you? Know what? The elevator dings. The doors slide open. That you're the real target, she says, pushing me inside. Dominic was just bait. The words don't make sense. Can't make sense. That's insane. I'm nobody. I'm just. You're Jonathan Hartley's daughter. Patricia hits the button for the lobby, which makes you worth a lot more than you realize to a lot of very dangerous people. The elevator descends, my stomach dropping with it. My father's debt is more complicated than Dominic told you. She checks her weapon again, face grim. Your father didn't just gamble away money, Emily. He stole something. Something worth killing for. And people think you know where it is. I don't. I haven't even spoken to him in months. I believe you. They won't. The elevator slows, approaching the lobby. Patricia positions herself in front of me, weapon raised. When these doors open, stay behind me. We go straight through the lobby to the street. The SUVs will cover us. You get in the middle vehicle, and you do not come out until Dominic or I personally open that door. Understood? I nod, unable to form words past the terror clogging my throat. The elevator dings. The doors open onto carnage. The lobby is a war zone. Shattered glass, bullet holes in marble, 2 bodies crumpled near the security desk. I smell smoke and something copper-sharp that makes my stomach heave. Move. Patricia hisses, and we're running again through the destruction toward the doors that seem miles away. We're almost there when I see him. Dominic, emerging from the stairwell, bloodied but alive. Relief floods through me so intensely my knees nearly buckle. Then I see the man behind him. gun rising, taking aim at Dominic's unprotected back. No! The scream tears from my throat. I raise my gun. When did I raise it? And pull the trigger. Once, twice, 3 times. The man goes down. Dominic spins, eyes widening as he sees me, sees what I just did. Our eyes lock across the destroyed lobby, and something passes between us. Recognition, maybe, or understanding. I just killed for him, without hesitation, without thought. What does that make me? Patricia drags me through the doors before I can process it. The night air hits me like a slap, cold and acrid with smoke. The SUVs are there, doors open, armed men providing cover as bullets spark off metal and glass. Someone grabs me, lifts me bodily into the middle vehicle. I'm thrown into leather seats, Patricia tumbling in beside me, the door slamming shut as the driver punches the accelerator. Wait! I claw at the window. Dominic still. He's coming, Patricia says, but she's watching through the rear window with that same concern creasing her face. I twist around, pressing my face to the glass. The other SUVs are moving, creating a protective barrier around ours. Through the chaos and smoke, I see Dominic sprinting toward the last vehicle, his own men laying down covering fire. He's going to make it. He has to make it. A figure appears on a third-floor balcony. Rifle. Scope. Taking aim. Dominic. I scream, but he can't hear me through bulletproof glass and engine roar and gunfire. The sniper's rifle flashes. Dominic staggers, hand going his side, but he keeps running, keeps moving. He reaches the SUV, practically throws himself inside, and the vehicle peels away. All 3 SUVs accelerate hard, weaving through streets I don't recognize, sirens wailing in the distance. My hands won't stop shaking. The gun. Patricia took it from me at some point. I can still feel the weight of it. The kick of the trigger. I killed someone tonight. Maybe 2 someones. And all I can think about is whether Dominic is bleeding out in the SUV behind us. He's fine, Patricia says, like she can read my mind. She's on her phone now, speaking rapid fire in that same language I heard earlier. Russian, maybe? Vest caught most of it. He'll have a hell of a bruise, but he's fine. You're sure? He's texting me creative threats about what he'll do if I let anything happen to you. She shows me the phone screen, and despite everything, the fear, the violence, the bodies, I feel something warm and dangerous unfurl in my chest at the sight of Dominic's messages. Is she hurt? If she's hurt, I'll burn the whole city down. Patricia, I swear to God, if you don't answer me, tell him I'm fine. I whisper. Patricia types rapidly. The response comes immediately. We need to finish what we started. Tonight, no more delays. I stare at the message, understanding dawning cold and certain. The contract. He still wants me to sign the contract. After what just happened, you're more valuable than ever. Patricia's voice is matter of fact. You need protection. He can provide it. The contract makes sense for both of you now. The contract makes me his property. The contract makes you untouchable. She meets my eyes, and hers are hard with certainty. In our world, being Dominic Carver's wife means something. It means you're protected by his name, his resources, his reputation. No one will dare touch you without consequence. Our world, I repeat slowly. What world is that exactly? Patricia's smile is sharp. The one you just entered the moment you pulled that trigger. The SUV's slow, turning into an underground parking structure. Security gates, armed guards, cameras everywhere. We descend into darkness, away from the sirens and smoke and bodies, down into whatever fresh hell awaits me. The vehicle stops. Patricia opens her door, then mine, offering her hand. I take it, because I don't know what else to do. We're in some kind of private garage, all concrete and shadows. The other SUVs are already there, doors opening, men emerging, some wounded, all on high alert. Dominic steps out of the third vehicle, and our eyes meet across the underground space. He's alive, bruised, bloodied, fury radiating from every line of his body, but alive. He crosses the distance between us in long strides, not stopping until he's right in front of me. His hands cup my face, thumbs brushing my cheekbones, eyes scanning me for injuries with almost frantic intensity. Are you hurt? His voice is rough, desperate. Emily, answer me. Are you hurt? No. My voice breaks. Dominic, you're bleeding. I'm fine. But his hands are shaking against my skin. You shot someone. Patricia told me. You! He stops, swallows hard. You saved my life. You saved mine first. That's different. I'm trained for this. His forehead drops to mine, and I feel him breathing hard, fighting for control. You're an artist. You paint beautiful things. You shouldn't have to. Apparently, I'm more than that. The words taste bitter. According to everyone hunting me tonight. His hands tighten on my face. I'll find them. Everyone who came after you. Everyone who put you in danger. I'll find them, and I'll make them regret they were ever born. The promise should terrify me. Instead, it makes me feel safe. What does that say about who I'm becoming? The contract, I say softly. You still want me to sign it. More than ever. He pulls back enough to meet my eyes. You need protection, Emily. Real protection. The kind that comes with my name and everything it implies. Sign the contract. Marry me. Let me keep you safe. By making me yours. Yes. No hesitation. No apology. By making you mine in every way that matters. By putting you so far under my protection that even thinking about touching you becomes suicide. Patricia clears her throat from somewhere behind us. We should move this inside. We're exposed down here. Dominic nods but doesn't release me, his hand finding mine and holding on like I might disappear if he lets go. We move as a group toward an elevator, surrounded by a security team, everyone on high alert. The elevator rises, and my ears pop with the pressure change. When the doors open, I step into the most beautiful apartment I've ever seen, all floor-to-ceiling windows and modern luxury. The city sprawling below us like a carpet of stars. This is your home? I ask. One of them. Dominic finally releases my hand, moving to pour drinks at a bar that probably costs more than my car. Patricia, status report. While they talk in low voices, coordinating security, identifying attackers, planning response. I drift to the windows, looking out at the city that nearly killed me tonight. My reflection stares back. Torn dress, bare feet, wild eyes. I look like a stranger. I feel like a stranger. Here, Dominic appears beside me, pressing a glass into my hand. Whiskey, neat. Drink. It'll help. I drink, and the burn is almost welcome. Real. Grounding. The woman from the warehouse. I say, suddenly, who was she? He goes very still beside me. Why do you want to know? Because you looked at her the same way you look at me. I face him, searching his face for truth. Because whoever she is, she matters to you. And if I'm going to sign away 5 years of my life, I deserve to know who I'm competing with. You're not competing with anyone. But his jaw is tight, muscles jumping beneath skin. She's complicated. Uncomplicated. For a long moment, he just looks at me. Then, she's my sister. Half-sister, technically. Different mothers, same bastard father. His voice is flat, emotionless. She works for me sometimes. Courier, mostly. She was carrying documents tonight, documents people would kill for, which is exactly what they tried to do. Relief and guilt wore my chest. Is she safe? She's in a secure location with her own protection detail. He swirls his whiskey, watching the liquid catch the light. But they used her to get to me, used her to draw me out so they could get to you. Why me? The question that's been burning in my mind all night finally escapes. Patricia said my father stole something. That people think I know where it is. What did he steal? Dominic's smile is cold. Leverage. Information that could destroy some very powerful people. Names, accounts, proof of transactions that were supposed to stay buried. Your father was always good at collecting secrets. He just wasn't smart enough to keep them safe. And people think he told me about these secrets. People think he hid whatever he stole in your studio. Dominic sets down his glass, turning to face me fully. They think he used your art as a cover for something more valuable, which is why his phone buzzes. He glances at it, and his expression goes absolutely deadly. What? I ask, but I already know it's bad. Everything tonight has been bad. They're at your studio, he says quietly, right now, tearing it apart looking for whatever your father hid. My studio, my paintings, everything I've worked for, everything I built. I'm moving before I think, heading for the elevator. Dominic catches my arm. Where do you think you're going? To stop them. Alone? Unarmed. His grip tightens. You'll be dead before you reach the door. I don't care. The scream tears from my throat. That's my life they're destroying. My work, my art, everything that makes me me. Then let me protect it. He pulls me close, hands framing my face again. Sign the contract. Become my wife. Let me send my people to secure your studio, to save what can be saved, to make sure you never have to face this alone again. You're using this. Tears burn my eyes. You're using my father's mess to manipulate me. Yes. No shame in the admission. I'm using every advantage I have to make you understand that you need me. Because you do, Emily. Whether you want to admit it or not, you need what I can give you. And what's that? Protection? Money? Power. The word hangs between us, heavy with promise. The power that comes with my name. The knowledge that anyone who hurts you will pay in blood. The certainty that you'll never be helpless again. I think about the gun in my hand tonight. The trigger pull. The body falling. I think about Dominic taking a bullet meant for me. About Patricia's calm competence. About this world I've stumbled into, violent and dangerous, and unlike anything I've ever known. I think about my studio burning, while I stand here safe in its fortress of glass and steel. The contract, I whisper. Where is it? Triumph flashes in his eyes. He crosses to a table, producing papers I recognize from the lawyer's office. Somehow, in all the chaos, someone managed to save them. Sign, he says, offer me a pen, and I'll send 20 men to your studio right now. Sign, and I'll make sure every painting, every sketch, every scrap of canvas is preserved. Sign, and I'll show you exactly what it means to be under my protection. The pen feels heavy in my hand. Final. I look at the signature line, then at Dominic's face, at the blood drying on his cheek, the intensity in his eyes, the barely controlled violence simmering beneath his expensive suit. If I do this, I say slowly, if I sign this and become your wife, I need one thing from you. Name it. The truth. About who you really are. About what this world is that I'm entering. About why. My voice cracks. Why being married to you is worth more than my freedom. He considers this for a long moment. Then he nods once, sharp and decisive. Sign first. Then I'll tell you everything. Every dark secret. Every dangerous truth. Every reason why this marriage will either save you or destroy you. His smile is sharp as broken glass. Though I should warn you, once you know, there's no going back. You'll be complicit in everything I am, everything I do. You'll be mine in ways that have nothing to do with legal contracts. My hand trembles as I lower the pen to paper. Emily. Patricia calls from across the room. Your studio. It's... She stops, listening to her phone. There's fire. Someone set fire to it. My art, my life's work, going up in flames while I stand here. The pen touches paper. I sign my name in shaking script. Emily Hartley, watching it dry into permanence. Now, I say, meeting Dominic's eyes with something like defiance burning in my chest. Tell me exactly what kind of monster I just married. His smile is pure predator. With pleasure, he murmurs, pulling out his phone. But first, he hits dial, never breaking eye contact with me. Marcus, the studio on 7th. I want everyone out alive. I don't care how you do it. Just do it. And when you find whoever set the fire. His pause is loaded with dark promise. Bring them to me. He ends a call, slips the phone away, and offers me his hand. Come, he says softly. Let me introduce you to the real Dominic Carver. The one your father knew about. The one everyone fears. The one you just bound yourself to for the next 5 years. I take his hand, because what choice do I have now? The contract is signed. My studio is burning. And the man I just married is looking at me like I'm both his salvation and his next victim. "Welcome to my world, Mrs. Carver," he whispers as he pulls me close, his lips brushing my ear. "Try not to." An explosion rocks the building, so violent it shatters windows and throws us both to the floor. Through the ringing in my ears, I hear Patricia screaming into her phone. Dominic's body covers mine again, protective and immovable. And somewhere in the smoke and chaos and falling glass, I hear him laugh, dark and dangerous and utterly without fear. "They just made a very serious mistake," he says against my neck. Then the lights go out again, plunging us into darkness. Chapter 4. The Devil's Bargain. The darkness lasts exactly 3 seconds before emergency generators kick in, bathing everything in blood-red light. Dominic is already moving, hauling me to my feet with one hand while the other produces a gun from somewhere I can't see. His security team materializes from shadows, forming a protective circle around us with military precision. "Breach on the east side," someone reports tersely. 2 men down. They're coming up through the service entrance. "How many?" Dominic's voice is cold, controlled, nothing like the passionate intensity from moments ago. "At least 6. Maybe more. Patricia, get Emily to the safe room. Now!" No. The word escapes before I can stop it. Both Dominic and Patricia turn to stare at me, and I realize I'm still gripping the signed contract in my other hand. "No more running. You said you'd tell me the truth. Tell me now. What are we actually fighting?" Dominic's jaw works, a muscle jumping beneath the skin. This isn't the time. Then when I step closer to him, ignoring Patricia's warning hand on my arm, I just sign away 5 years of my life. My studio is burning. People are trying to kill us. I think I've earned some answers, don't you? Something shifts in his expression. Respect, maybe, or recognition. He nods once to Patricia, who reluctantly lowers her weapon but doesn't step away. "Your father stole from the wrong people," Dominic says, voice clipped and urgent as gunfire echoes from somewhere below us. "Not just money, information, client lists, transaction records, evidence of money laundering operations that span 3 continents. He was the accountant for some very powerful, very illegal enterprises." My stomach drops. What kind of enterprises? The kind that make me look like a saint. His smile is bitter. "Arms dealers, human traffickers, corrupt politicians. Your father kept their books, managed their money, and apparently decided to take out insurance by copying everything. Names, dates, amounts, routes, enough to bring down a dozen criminal empires. Why would he do that? Because he's a coward who thought documentation would keep him safe." Dominic checks his weapon with practiced ease. "Instead, it made him a target. Made you a target. These people think he gave you copies, hid them in your art, used you as his insurance policy. He didn't. But even as I say it, doubt creeps in. All those times Dad visited my studio over the past year, always when I wasn't there, always with keys I didn't remember giving him. At least, I don't think he did. It doesn't matter what you think. It matters what they think." Dominic grabs my shoulders, forcing me to meet his eyes. "And right now, they think you're either sitting on a gold mine of blackmail material or you know where it is, which means they'll torture you for information, kill you when you can't give it to them, and burn everything you love just to send a message. The words should terrify me. They do terrify me. But there's something else too, a strange, electric awareness of Dominic's hands on my shoulders, his face inches from mine, the way his pupils dilate as he looks at me. Even now, even in the middle of this nightmare, my body responds to his proximity with traitorous heat. "So, what do we do?" I ask, hating how breathless I sound. "We survive." He releases me, already turning toward a security team. "And then we find whoever's behind this, and we end them." An explosion on a lower floor makes the entire building shudder. Smoke starts curling under the door, acrid and choking. "They're trying to flush us out," Patricia reports, checking her phone with concerning calm. "Fire on floors 12 through 15. Building evacuation protocols are disabled." "Of course they are." Dominic's voice carries dark amusement. They want us trapped, want us desperate. Marcus. He addresses one of the security team. The secondary escape route. Is it clear? Checking now, sir. Marcus speaks into his comm unit, then frowns. Negative. They've got it covered. Primary route? Also compromised. Dominic goes very still, and somehow that's more frightening than if he'd raged. Then we make a new route. Patricia, the building schematics, pull them up while they huddle over a tablet. I drift toward the shattered windows, looking down at the street far below. Police lights flash like distant stars. Fire trucks, ambulances, a crowd gathering to watch the show. And somewhere in that chaos, people hunting me, wanting something I don't have, don't even know about. Emily, get back from the window. Dominic's voice cuts through my spiraling thoughts. Why? If they wanted to shoot me from distance, they would have done it already. I don't move, staring at my reflection in the remaining glass. They need me alive, need whatever they think I have. That doesn't mean they won't clip you if given the chance. But he's beside me now, close enough that I feel his heat. Wounded hostages talk just as well as healthy ones. Is that experience talking? His silence is answer enough. I turn to face him, and in the red emergency lighting, he looks like something from a nightmare or a dark fantasy. Blood and smoke and barely controlled violence wrapped in Armani. Who are you really, Dominic Carver? I ask softly, because you're not just a businessman who happened to buy my father's debt. No one fights like you fought tonight. No one has this kind of security, this kind of resources, this kind of... I gesture vaguely at the organized chaos around us. Infrastructure for violence. You want the truth? He steps closer, backing me against the window frame. Fine. I run one of the largest private security firms in the country. Corporate protection, hostile territory extraction, asset recovery. We operate in gray areas where law enforcement can't or won't go. I've made enemies, powerful ones who would love nothing more than to see me destroyed. That's not the whole truth. His smile is sharp. No, it's not, but it's all you need to know right now. I signed your contract. I'm your wife. On paper, not yet in practice. His hand comes up to cup my jaw, thumb brushing my lower lip with possessive intimacy. And until this is over, until I know you're safe, that's how it stays. I won't make you mine completely while you're in danger. Won't tie you to me in ways that can't be undone. Maybe I want to be tied to you. The words escape before I can stop them, reckless and honest. His eyes darken, pupils blown wide. Emily, you've asked me to trust you, to sign contracts, to run when you say run, to shoot when you say shoot. Maybe it's time you trust me too. I reach up, fingers finding the blood-crusted cut on his cheek. Tell me what you're really protecting me from. Tell me why being your wife puts a target on my back. For a long moment, he just looks at me. Then he catches my hand, pressing it flat against his chest where I can feel his heart hammering. Because I'm not just in security business, Emily. I'm in the revenge business. The justice that law can't provide business. People hire me to make problems disappear, and I'm very, very good at it. His voice drops lower, intimate and dangerous. Your father's stolen documents? They implicate some of my clients. People who pay me extraordinary amounts of money to keep their secrets safe. And now those secrets are loose, potentially in your possession, and everyone wants them back. Understanding crashes over me like ice water. You're using me. You married me to get to whatever my father stole. I married you to keep you alive. His grip tightens on my hand. Yes, I need those documents. Yes, I need to know what your father took and who has copies. But that doesn't change the fact that without my protection, you'd be dead already. They would have taken you from that gallery tonight, tortured you until you broke, and dumped your body in the river. How romantic. I'm not trying to be romantic. I'm trying to be honest. He leans closer, forehead almost touching mine. I'm a bad man, Emily. I do terrible things for terrible people, but I keep my word. And I promise to protect you, which means no one touches you while you're mine. Not my enemies, not my clients. No one. even if I can't give them what they want. Especially then. His smile turns predatory. Because if you don't have the documents, then finding them becomes my problem. And I'm much better at solving problems than you are. Another explosion rocks the building, closer this time. Smoke is getting thicker, harder to breathe through. Patricia appears at Dominic's shoulder, face grim. We're out of time. They've breached the 20th floor. We need to move now, or we're trapped. The roof, Dominic decides. Call the helicopter. We're leaving. In this smoke, visibility is 0. I don't care. Get it in the air. He turns back to me, and there's something almost gentle in his expression. Can you climb? Climb what? Stairs. Lots of stairs. While being shot at. I think about my bare feet, torn dress, the exhaustion weighing down my limbs. Do I have a choice? You always have a choice, Devachka. The Russian endearment sounds almost tender, but some choices are better than others. Come with me now. Trust me to get you out alive, and tomorrow we figure out the rest. Or stay here and take your chances with the people hunting you. That's not really a choice. No, he agrees. It's not. Gunfire erupts from the hallway outside. Dominic's security team returns fire, professional and efficient. Someone screams, one of ours or one of theirs, I can't tell. Emily. Dominic's voice cuts through the chaos. Decision time. I look at the signed contract still clutched in my hand, at the ring that appeared on my finger at some point during the chaos, a massive diamond that catches emergency lighting and throws red sparks, at the man who just admitted he's essentially a high-end criminal offering me protection from other criminals, at the life I had versus the life I'm choosing. Let's go, I say, and his answering smile is pure satisfaction. Patricia leads the way, gun raised and ready. The security team forms protective diamond around Dominic and me as we exit the penthouse into smoke-filled chaos. The hallway is a maze of shadows and emergency lighting, punctuated by the sporadic crack of gunfire. We move fast, taking corners with military precision. I try to keep up, but my bare feet slip on marble slick with something I don't want to identify. Dominic catches me before I fall, his arm an iron band around my waist. I've got you, he murmurs against my ear. Don't let go. I don't plan to. The stairwell is worse. Smoke so thick I can barely see Patricia ahead of us. We climb up instead of down, toward the roof and a helicopter that may or may not be able to land in these conditions. My lungs burn. My legs scream. But Dominic's hand in mine keeps me moving, keeps me focused on the next step and the next. Behind us, pursuit. Voices shouting in languages I don't recognize. More gunfire, closer now. How much farther? I gasp. 2 floors. Dominic's breathing is labored too, despite his obvious fitness. Then it's just getting to the helicopter without being shot. You make that sound so simple. Compared to what happens if we don't make it? His laugh is dark. It is simple. We burst onto the roof into chaos. The helicopter is there, rotors screaming, fighting the smoke and wind. But we're not alone. 3 men block our path to salvation, weapons raised and ready. Dominic doesn't hesitate. He moves with liquid grace, putting himself between me and the threat. His security team engages immediately, and the roof becomes a battlefield. I see one of our men go down. See Patricia take a round to the shoulder, but keep fighting. See Dominic move through the chaos like death incarnate. Every shot precise, every movement calculated. This is who he really is. Not the businessman in expensive suits. Not the charming negotiator who trapped me with contracts. This, violence and protection, and barely control fury. And God help me, I'm not afraid. Move! Dominic shouts. And suddenly we're running again, Patricia bleeding but covering our retreat. The security team laying down suppressive fire. The helicopter door is open, a crew member reaching for us. 10 feet, 5 feet. Someone grabs my ankle. I go down hard, knees cracking against concrete. A man looms over me, weapon raised, something vicious in his expression. Dominic appears like an avenging angel, tackling him away from me. They roll, grappling for control of the gun. I watch in horror as they struggle at the roof's edge. So close to the drop, the gun goes off. One of them jerks. For a terrible moment, I can't tell who. Then Dominic rises, and the other man doesn't. He turns to me, blood on his hands, his or theirs, I can't tell, and reaches down. Time to go, he says calmly, like we're leaving a dinner party instead of a war zone. I take his hand, because what else can I do? He lifts me bodily, passing me to the crew member who hauls me into the helicopter. Patricia follows, then the remaining security team. Dominic comes last, throwing himself through the door as bullets spark off metal. Geo, he roars, and we're rising, tilting sickeningly as a pilot fights for control in the smoke. Through the open door, I watch the building fall away below us. Watch the fires burning on multiple floors. Watch tiny figures on the roof. Weapons raised uselessly as we escape into the night. We made it. Somehow, impossibly, we made it. I'm shaking so hard my teeth chatter. Dominic wraps something around me, his jacket, and pulls me against his chest. His heart hammers against my cheek, fast and strong and alive. You okay? His voice rumbles through his chest. No. Honest. Raw. I don't think I'll ever be okay again. Good. His arms tighten around me. Okay is overrated. Alive is better. Patricia is being tended to by one of the security team. The bullet wound in her shoulder, apparently not life-threatening. She catches my eye and nods once. Respect or acknowledgement or something like approval. I just survived my second firefight in one night. Killed at least one person, maybe more. Signed a contract binding me to a man I barely know, who's just admitted to being a criminal himself. And all I can think about is how safe I feel in Dominic's arms. What does that make me? Where are we going? I ask as the helicopter banks hard, heading away from the city lights. Somewhere secure. His hand strokes my hair, soothing. Somewhere they won't find us while we regroup and plan our next move. And then we find out what your father really stole. Find out who wants it badly enough to burn down half of Manhattan. And we make them regret they ever heard the name Emily Hartley. He tilts my face up to his, and in the helicopter's dim lighting, his eyes are smoke and shadow. Or should I say Emily Carver? The name sounds foreign and intimate all at once. I haven't gotten used to that yet. You will. It's not a promise. It's a certainty. You're mine now, Devotchka. Mine to protect. Mine to claim. Mine to... His phone rings, cutting through the moment. He answers with barely controlled fury. What? I watch his expression change as he listens, from anger to shock to something that might be fear, when he demands, how did they... He stops, jaw working. Keep her there. Don't move her. We're coming now. He ends the call and looks at me, and I see something new in his face. Vulnerability. Real, genuine fear. What is it? I ask, though dread is already pooling in my stomach. They have your sister, he says quietly. They took Lily while we were under attack. Grabbed her from her dorm room while campus security was distracted by a false alarm. The world tilts. No, that's not. She's safe. She's at school. She's supposed to be safe. They want to trade. His voice is flat, emotionless. You for her. They'll call with details within the hour. Then we give them me. I pull away from his arms, clarity cutting through panic. We give them what they want. We trade. Emily. She's 19, Dominic. 19 years old and innocent, and this is my fault. All of it. My father's crimes, your enemies, whatever the hell is happening. She shouldn't pay for any of it. And you should... He catches my wrist, holding tight. You think I'll just hand you over to people who will torture and kill you? I think you don't have a choice. I meet his eyes, and mine are dry despite the terror clawing at my throat. You said I'm yours now, that you protect what's yours. Well, Lily is mine, my baby sister, and I will trade myself for her without hesitation. No, it's not your decision. Yes, it is. His grip tightens, almost painful. You're my wife. That contract you signed? It makes your choices my choices. Your safety my responsibility. And I don't negotiate with terrorists. She's not a terrorist bargaining chip. She's my sister. The scream tears from my throat. The only family I have who isn't corrupt or absent or dead. If they hurt her because you wouldn't deal, they won't hurt her. But there's uncertainty in his voice now. They need leverage, need you compliant. Hurting Lily only makes you resistant. You're willing to bet her life on that. The question hangs between us, heavy and horrible. The pilot's voice crackles through the intercom. Sir, we're approaching the compound. ETA 5 minutes. Dominic looks at me for a long moment, something complicated warring in his expression. Then he pulls me back against his chest, lips brushing my temple. I'll get her back, he promises, without sacrificing you. Trust me, Emily, just a little longer. Trust me to find another way. And if there isn't another way, his arms tighten around me, and when he speaks, his voice is dark with promise. Then I'll burn the whole world down to protect what's mine, starting with whoever took your sister. The helicopter begins its descent, and through the window, I see lights emerging from darkness. A compound, walls and gates, and the kind of security that suggests we're entering a fortress, not a home. Dominic's world, his sanctuary, his cage, and now mine too. The helicopter touches down with a gentle bump. The door opens, and armed men in tactical gear materialize to escort us inside. Dominic helps me out, his hand possessive at my waist, and I see how they look at me now, not as a hostage or a burden, but as something that belongs to their boss. Something to be protected. Mrs. Carver, the name I signed, the identity I claimed. We're halfway to the main building when Dominic's phone rings again. He looks at the screen and goes absolutely still. It's them, he says quietly. The people who have Lily. My heart stops. Answer it. Please, let me talk to her. He puts it on speaker, and a distorted voice fills the air between us. Mr. Carver, how nice of you to finally join us. And I see you brought our Emily. How very convenient. Let the girl go, Dominic says, voice like ice. She has nothing to do with this. On the contrary, she has everything to do with this. Family loyalty is such a powerful motivator, don't you think? A pause. Would you like to hear her scream? No. I lunge for the phone. Don't hurt her. Please. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't. Emily? Lily's voice, small and terrified. Emily, I'm scared. They said Dad did something bad. They said... Her words cut off with a yelp. Lily, I'm screaming now, struggling against Dominic's hold. Lily, midnight tomorrow, the distorted voice says. The old shipping yard on the waterfront. Emily comes alone, unarmed, or the sister dies, slowly, and we'll make sure you hear every second of it. The line goes dead. I collapse against Dominic, something breaking loose in my chest. We have to give them what they want. We have to. We will, he promises darkly, just not the way they expect. He lifts me effortlessly, carrying me toward the compound's entrance. I don't protest, don't resist, can't think beyond the sound of Lily's terrified voice echoing in my mind. We pass through security doors that his close with mechanical finality, through corridors lined with surveillance equipment and armed guards, into an elevator that descends rather than rises, taking us underground, to safety, to security, to a prison built for my protection. When the elevator doors open, I see a massive space, part command center, part luxury apartment. Screens everywhere showing feeds from cameras I can't begin to count. Maps and tactical displays. A wall of weapons that would make a military armory jealous. This is the real Dominic Carver, not the businessman or the negotiator. This, the strategist, the warrior, the man who lives in a fortress because he has to. He sets me down gently on a leather sofa and kneels before me, hands framing my face. Look at me, he orders softly. I do, and I see fierce determination burning in those gray eyes. I will get your sister back, he promises. I will end the people who took her, and I will make sure this never, ever happens again. Do you believe me? I should say no. should rail against his arrogance, his certainty, his assumption that he can fix this. Instead, I hear myself whisper, "Yes? Good." He rises, already moving toward the tactical displays, his security team materializing around him, because we have 18 hours to plan a raid that will either save your sister or start a war. He glances back at me, and something hot and possessive flashes in his expression. "And Emily, when this is over, when your sister is safe and our enemies are dead," his smile is pure predator. "Then we finish what we started. Then you become my wife in every sense of the word. No more running. No more fear. Just you and me and—" A new alarm shrieks through the compound, cutting him off. One of his men curses, pointing at a screen. And there, clear as day on security feed, I see my father, walking through the main gates, surrounded by armed men I don't recognize, and looking directly at the camera with an expression that chills my blood. "Hello, Emily," he says, voice carrying through speakers. "Time we had a family reunion. And this time, his smile is terrible. You're going to tell me everything you know about what I hid, whether you want to or not." Chapter 5, Blood Ties. The silence that follows my father's announcement is absolute. Dominic stands frozen, staring at the security feed with an expression I can't read. His security team exchanges rapid glances, hands drifting toward weapons. Patricia, shoulder bandaged but already back on her feet, moves to stand between me and the screens, like she can protect me from the image of my father's betrayal. "That's impossible," I whisper, though I'm staring right at him, at Jonathan Hartley in his expensive suit, looking calm and collected despite the armed men flanking him, despite the fact that he just walked into a secure compound like he owns it. "He's supposed to be in the Caymans. You said—" "I said he was on a plane." Dominic's voice is lethal quiet, the kind of calm that precedes violence. "I never said he got on it." Understanding crashes over me like ice water. You knew he wasn't really running." "I suspected." He's already moving, pulling up additional camera feeds, tracking my father's movement to the compound's outer perimeter. "Your father is many things, Emily, but stupid isn't one of them. The moment I bought his debt, the moment I offered him a way out, I knew he'd have a contingency plan. And you didn't think to mention this?" My voice rises despite my attempt at control. "My sister is missing. People are trying to kill us. And you knew my father was playing both sides. I didn't know he'd take your sister." Dominic rounds on me, and there's genuine fury in his eyes now. I didn't know he'd escalate this fast. I thought I had time to— To what? Manipulate everyone into position? Control all the variables. I'm on my feet now, anger burning through the exhaustion. "You're not God, Dominic. You can't orchestrate everything." "No." His smile is bitter. "But I can try. And I was this close." He holds up fingers barely separated, to having all the pieces where I needed them. "Your father just moved faster than I anticipated." On the screen, my father is speaking again, looking directly at the camera. At me. "Emily, sweetheart, I know you're watching. I know you're scared and confused, and I'm sorry. I never wanted you caught in the middle of this." He spreads his hands in a gesture that might look apologetic, if not for the armed men surrounding him. "But you have something I need. Something I hid in your studio before everything went to hell. And I need it back. Now." "I don't have anything." I shout at the screen, knowing he can't hear me but unable to stop myself. "I've never had anything." "He doesn't believe you," Dominic says quietly. "He thinks I'm keeping you isolated, controlling what you say, what you know. He thinks," his jaw works, "he thinks I've turned you against him. Haven't you?" The question hangs heavy between us. "No." He crosses to me in 3 strides, hands cupping my face with surprising gentleness. "You turned against him the moment you learned what he did, what he stole, who he stole from, how he put everyone you love in danger. I didn't have to do anything except tell you the truth. Did you? Tell me the truth." I search his face, looking for lies I'm not skilled enough to find. "Or did you just tell me your version of it?" His thumb brushes my cheekbone. "Does it matter?" "Yes." "But I'm not sure anymore. Not sure of anything except the solid warmth of him. The way his presence makes me feel safe despite being surrounded by danger. On the screen, my father's patience appears to be wearing thin. I'm going to count to 60, Emily. And if you don't come out here and talk to me like a reasonable adult, I'm going to assume your new husband has you under duress. And then things get very unpleasant for everyone. He's bluffing, Patricia says, but she doesn't sound certain. He doesn't have the resources to breach this facility. No, Dominic agrees, still looking at me, but the people backing him do. What people? Instead of answering, he turns back to the screens and starts pulling up files. Images flicker past. Surveillance photos, intelligence reports, financial records. My father meeting with men in expensive suits. My father exchanging briefcases in parking garages. My father looking increasingly desperate and afraid. Your father didn't just steal information, Dominic says, voice clipped and professional now. He was stealing it to order, for a buyer, someone who wanted dirt on my clients, leverage over people I protect, someone who's been trying to dismantle my operation for years. Who? He pulls up a final image, and my blood runs cold. The man from the warehouse, the one who shot at me, who Patricia killed. Except in this photo he's alive, standing beside my father, both of them smiling. His name is Victor Constantine. Dominic says, Russian arms dealer, information broker, and one of the most dangerous men I've ever had the misfortune of knowing. He's the one who sent the teams after us tonight. He's the one who has your sister. And he's the one your father has been working for this entire time. The room spins. No, Dad wouldn't. Your father would do anything to save his own skin, Emily, including sacrificing both his daughters. Dominic's voice is gentle but merciless. He told Victor about your studio, about hiding the documents there. Told him you might know where they are. All to buy himself more time, more chances to escape his debts. I sink back onto the sofa, the weight of betrayal crushing my chest. My father, the man who taught me to ride a bike, who came to my first gallery showing, who cried when my mother got sick. That same man sold me out to criminals to save himself. So what do we do? I ask, voice hollow. He's out there demanding I come talk to him. Victor has Lily. We're running out of time and options. We give them what they want. Dominic's smile is sharp as broken glass. Just not what they expect. He turns to the security team, and I watch him transform. The man who held me gently moments ago disappears, replaced by the commander I saw on that rooftop. Cold, calculating, deadly. Marcus, I want eyes on every approach to the compound. If Victor's men are out there, I want to know numbers, positions, armaments. Patricia, pull up everything we have on the shipping yard. Blueprints, camera feeds, recent activity. If we're walking into a trap tomorrow, I want to know exactly what kind. Orders flow rapid fire. The team responds with military precision, and I sit there useless and afraid, watching the man I married orchestrate war. What about me? I finally ask, what's my role in this brilliant plan? Dominic pauses, turning back to me. You're going to talk to your father, but not out there where Victor's men can grab you. Here, on our terms, with my people surrounding you. And you're going to convince him to tell us exactly where the real documents are. What if I don't know how to do that? Then you learn. Fast. He offers his hand, pulling me to my feet. Come on. Time for a crash course in interrogation techniques. He leads me to a smaller room off the main command center. Soundproofed. I realize by the way noise cuts off when the door closes. Inside is a table, 2 chairs, and a camera set up pointing at one of them. This is where you'll talk to him, Dominic explains. We'll project your image to the screens outside. He'll think you're coming to meet him, but you'll be safe in here, protected. And if he doesn't tell me what I need to know, then we move to Plan B. At my questioning look, he adds, You don't want to know Plan B? He's probably right. Dominic moves behind me, hands settling on my shoulders. His touch is warm through the thin fabric of his jacket that I'm still wearing, and despite everything, I feel myself leaning into it. Your father is a coward and a liar, he says quietly. But he loves you in his own selfish way. Use that. Make him think you're in danger. That cooperated with me is hurting you. Play on his guilt, his ego, his desperate need to believe he's not the villain of the story. You want me to manipulate my own father. I want you to save your sister. His hands tighten slightly. Everything else is just tactics. I close my eyes, thinking about Lily, 19 years old, terrified, in the hands of a monster, because of Dad's choices, because of his debts and lies and desperate attempts to save himself. Okay, I whisper. Tell me what to do. For the next 20 minutes, Dominic coaches me. How to sit, how to speak, which emotional buttons to push. He's done this before, I realize. Coached interrogations, manipulated confessions, pulled truth from people who desperately want to lie. What does it say about me that I find his expertise arousing instead of terrifying? Ready? He asks finally, and I nod even though I'm not. We'll never be ready for this. He sets up the camera, makes a call, and suddenly my father's face appears on a screen in front of me. He's in some kind of vehicle now, one of the SUVs parked outside the compound, probably. His expression shifts from irritation to relief when he sees me. Emily! Thank God. I was starting to think. He stops, really looking at me. Are you all right? Has he hurt you? I'm fine, Dad. The lie tastes bitter. Just confused. Scared. I don't understand what's happening. I know, sweetheart. I know this is terrifying. But I need you to listen very carefully. He leans closer to his camera, urgent. The documents I hid in your studio. Did you find them? Did Carver find them? What documents? I don't know what you're talking about. I let my voice shake, let fear bleed through. Not hard, since I'm genuinely terrified. There was a fire, Dad. My studio burned. Everything burned. His face pales. No, that's not possible. I hid them so carefully, sealed them in waterproof cases behind the canvases. They couldn't have... Behind the canvases? I repeat, and I see Dominic nod approvingly from off-camera. Getting information. Making Dad reveal his hiding spots. Which ones? The series you did last year. The portraits. He's agitated now, hands gesturing frantically. The ones of women in cages. God, Emily, you have to remember. I told you I wanted to buy them, remember? I came by when you weren't there, said I wanted to surprise you for your mother's birthday. I do remember. He'd seemed strange that day, nervous. I thought it was about Mom's declining health. Instead, he was using my art, my soul, my passion, as a hiding place for stolen intelligence. The betrayal cuts deeper than I expected. Those paintings are gone, Dad. Ash! The whole studio collapsed. Not entirely true. Dominic's men saved some pieces, but he doesn't know that. Whatever you hid is destroyed. No. The word comes out broken. No. Those documents are my insurance. My way out. Without them, Victor will... He stops, realizing what he just admitted. Victor will what? I lean forward, and I'm not pretending anymore. This is real fury, real betrayal. Kill us? Like he's threatening to kill Lily right now? The sister you put in danger to save yourself. I didn't mean for her to get involved. I thought if I gave Victor you, just information about you, he'd leave the rest of the family alone. You gave him information about me? I'm shouting now, standing, the chair scraping back. You sold me out. I had no choice. He's shouting too, composure crumbling. I owed people money I didn't have. Money I'd already spent trying to save the company, try to keep your mother in treatment, trying to keep our lives from falling apart. Victor offered me a way out. Steal information from Carver's clients, use your art connections to move it, and he'd clear my debts. All of them. So you used me, your own daughter. I was protecting you. But the words sound hollow even to him. If I'd paid my debts with my own resources, we'd have lost everything. Your mother's treatment, your studio, Lily's education. I thought, his voice breaks, I thought I was doing the right thing. The right thing would have been telling the truth. My voice is steady now, cold. The right thing would have been going to the police, declaring bankruptcy, anything except dragging your family into a war with criminals. You don't understand the pressure, the impossible choices. I understand that my baby sister is being held hostage because of your choices. I lean close to the camera, making sure he sees every ounce of my fury. So here's what's going to happen. Dad, you're going to tell me everything. Who Victor works with, where he's keeping Lily, what his end game is. And if you don't, I let the thread hang. You'll what? You're not like them, Emily. You're not like Carver. You don't have it in you to try me. The words come out flat, emotionless. I've already killed 2 people tonight, protecting myself. What's one more? The shock on his face is almost satisfying. Almost. You can't be serious. I'm my father's daughter, apparently. Turns out we'll both do terrible things when cornered. I sit back down, arranging my expression into something I hope looks controlled. Talk. Now. Or I hang up and you never see me again. For a long moment, he just stares. Then, slowly he starts talking. Victor's operation. The shipping yard setup. Guard rotations. Lily's likely location. It spills out at him in a rush. Partly guilt, partly fear, partly desperate hope that confession will somehow fix this. Dominic records everything, his team already cross-referencing information, building a tactical picture. When Dad finally runs out of words, he looks smaller somehow, diminished. I'm sorry, Emily, he whispers, for all of it. I never meant for things to go this far. But they did. I stand ready to end this, and now we all have to live with the consequences. Will you forgive me? Eventually, I think about Lily, terrified in some warehouse, about my studio burning, about the contract I signed that binds me to a criminal to protect what's left of my family. Ask me again when Lily's safe. I say, if she's safe. I end the call before he can respond. The silence in the interrogation room is deafening. I stand there, shaking, the weight of what I just did crashing over me. I manipulated my father, played on his guilt, extracted information like some kind of spy, and it felt good. What does that make me? Dominic enters the room, moving toward me with careful intention. You did well, he says softly. Better than well. You were magnificent. I was cruel. You were effective. His hands find my waist, pulling me against him. Your father deserved that and worse. Don't feel guilty for making him face what he's done. I don't feel guilty. That's the problem. I feel powerful, vindicated, like I finally took control of something in this nightmare. I don't know what I feel. That's the adrenaline, the rush of confrontation. His voice drops lower, intimate. It's addictive, isn't it? The feeling of having power over someone who hurt you. You're speaking from experience. Always. He tilts my face up to his, and in his eyes I see recognition, understanding. This is what I do, Emily. I teach people that actions have consequences. That betrayal comes with a price. And right now, you're learning the same lesson. Is that what you want? To turn me into... I gesture vaguely at the command center beyond the door. Whatever you are, I want you to survive. His thumb brushes my lower lip. To be strong enough to stand in my world without breaking. To understand that sometimes mercy is weakness and cruelty is necessary. That's not who I am. No. His smile is knowing. Then why did threatening your father feel so natural? Why are you standing here with me instead of falling apart? Why? His hand slides into my hair, tilting my head back. Are you looking at me like you want me despite knowing exactly how dangerous I am? I don't. He kisses me, and the lie dies on my lips. It's not gentle, not soft or apologetic or careful. It's possession and promise and the dark attraction that's been building between us since the moment we met. His tongue demands entry, and I give it, opening to him, letting him claim my mouth with the same intensity he claims everything else. I should push him away, should maintain some distance, some control. Instead, I press closer, hands fisting in his shirt, desperate for more contact, more heat, More of this dangerous man who's somehow become my sanctuary. When we finally break apart, both breathing hard, his eyes are molten silver. Tomorrow, he says roughly, we get your sister. We end Victor. We finish this. And then, his smile is pure predator. Then I make you mine in every way that matters. No more waiting. No more pretending this is just business. Tomorrow night, after it's done, you become my wife completely. Dominic. An alarm shatters the moment. Not the same one as before. This one higher, more urgent. Patricia's voice crackles over the intercom. Sir, we have a problem. Multiple vehicles approaching the south entrance. They're not slowing down. Dominic curses, already moving toward the command center. I follow, finding chaos. Screens showing SUVs racing toward the compound. Smoke trails suggesting rocket launchers or worse. How many? Dominic demands. 12 vehicles. Maybe 40 men total. Marcus pulls up tactical displays. They're organized, well-armed, and they're not here to negotiate. Victor's making his move early. Dominic's voice is ice cold. He knows we have information from Jonathan. Knows we're planning a rescue, so he's bringing the fight to us. Can we hold them off? I ask, though I'm not sure I want the answer. We can try. He turns to his team. Full defensive positions. Lock down all entrances. I want every person in this compound armed and ready. This is not a drill. They scatter, moving with practiced efficiency. Alarms wail. Heavy doors slam shut with mechanical finality. The compound transforms from sanctuary to fortress in seconds. Dominic pulls me close, pressing something cold and heavy into my hand. A gun. Again. Stay in the command center, he orders. Patricia will be with you. If anyone gets past us. I know. Point and shoot. I'm proud my voice doesn't shake. Where will you be? Where I need to be. He kisses me hard and fast, then pulls away. Don't die on me, Devachka. I have plans for you. Same to you. He flashes that dangerous smile, and then he's gone, moving toward the conflict with the same lethal grace I've seen all night. Patricia materializes beside me, her own weapon ready. He's going to get himself killed showing off for you, she observes. He's going to get himself killed because he's insane. That too. She pulls up camera feeds showing the approaching vehicles. They're almost at the gates. You know this ends badly no matter what, right? Even if we survive tonight, even if we rescue your sister, Victor won't stop. None of them will. You've seen too much, know too much. You're a liability. So what do? She looks at me, and there's something almost like respect in her eyes. You become too dangerous to kill. You stop being a victim and start being a threat. I don't know how to do that. Yes, you do. You already started. She gestures at the interrogation room. You broke your father in 20 minutes. You killed to protect Dominic without hesitation. You're learning. Fast. The first explosion rocks the compound, stealing my response. On the screens, I watch the south gate explode in fire and twisted metal. The SUVs pour through the breach, and Dominic's men engage immediately. The war has begun, and somewhere in the chaos and gunfire and smoke, I feel something inside me shift, change, harden into something that might not recognize itself tomorrow. Patricia hands me extra ammunition. Welcome to the family business, Mrs. Carver. Try to enjoy the show. Another explosion. More gunfire. Dominic's voice shouting orders through the comms. And on one of the screens, partially hidden by smoke but unmistakable, my father's car, sitting at the outer perimeter, watching, waiting, making sure that whatever happens tonight, he escapes with his own skin intact. I raise the gun, checking the safety, remembering everything Dominic taught me. Tomorrow we save Lily. Tonight we survive. And after that, I stop being Emily Hartley, naive artist, dutiful daughter, victim. I become Emily Carver. And God, help anyone who stands in my way. On the screen, I watch Dominic take down 3 men with brutal efficiency, and despite the danger, despite the fear, I feel that dark heat unfurl in my chest again. He fights like an angel of death. And tomorrow, he's promised to make me his. I should be terrified of what that means. Instead, I'm counting down the hours. The compound shudders with another impact, and Patricia grabs my arm, pulling me toward a more secure position. Time to learn how to shoot moving targets, she says grimly. Class is in session. I follow. Gun heavy in my hand, Dominic's jacket still wrapped around me. And somewhere between one breath and the next, I stop asking if I can do this. I already am. Chapter 6, The Breaking Point. The gunfire lasts 3 hours. 3 hours of controlled chaos, of watching screens light up with muzzle flashes and bodies falling. 3 hours of Patricia's calm voice guiding me through weapon checks and defensive positions. 3 hours of listening to Dominic coordinate his team with military precision, his voice never wavering even when the explosions shake the compound's foundations. 3 hours of learning exactly what kind of man I married. By the time silence finally falls, heavy and ominous, I've counted 17 dead on the cameras, most of them Victor's men. 2 of ours. The command center smells like gun oil and tension when Dominic finally returns, blood splattered across his shirt, a cut above his eye that's already stopped bleeding. His eyes find mine immediately, scanning me for injuries with an intensity that makes my breath catch. "You're not hurt," he says. Not a question, a confirmation. Neither are you. Not badly, anyway. I move toward him without conscious thought, and his arms come around me automatically, pulling me against his chest. I can feel his heart hammering, smell the cordite and sweat and something darker on his skin. Is it over? For now. His chin rests on top of my head. They retreated. We captured 3, killed 14, the rest scattered. Victor wasn't with them. He's too smart to risk himself on a frontal assault. So this was what? A distraction. A test. He pulls back enough to meet my eyes. He wanted to know our numbers, our capabilities, our response time. Now he knows, which means tomorrow's exchange will be a trap designed specifically to counter everything we just showed him. I finish the thought, and something flickers in his expression. Pride, maybe, or approval. You're learning. I have a good teacher. The words come out more intimate than I intended, and the air between us suddenly feels charged with more than just post-battle adrenaline. Marcus clears his throat from across the room. "Sir, the prisoners are secured in holding. They're not talking yet, but give us time." No time. Dominic releases me reluctantly, already shifting back into commander mode. We have, he checks his watch, 6 hours until exchange. Whatever they know, we need it now. Enhanced interrogation? Marcus asks carefully. I realize he's talking about torture. Whatever works. Dominic's voice is flat, emotionless. Just get me actionable intelligence. Marcus nods and disappears with 2 other team members. Patricia moves to follow, but Dominic stops her. Take Emily to the secure quarters. Let her clean up, rest as she can. Post guards outside the door. I'm not going anywhere, I say before Patricia can respond. Lily's my sister. This is my fight. I want to know what those men know. Emily, don't. I step closer, lowering my voice so only he can hear. Don't protect me from this. Don't treat me like I'm fragile. I've killed people tonight, Dominic. I've watched people die. I'm already in this, whether you want to be or not. His jaw works, muscles tensing. You don't want to see what happens in those interrogation rooms. Probably not, but I want to be there anyway. I hold his gaze, refusing to back down. You said I needed to be strong enough to survive in your world. So let me prove I can. For a long moment, we just stare at each other. Then, slowly, he nods. Patricia, bring her. But he looks at me, and there's genuine concern beneath the ice. If it gets too much, you leave. No arguments. Deal. Deal. The holding cells are deeper underground than I expected. Access through corridors that feel more like a bunker than a home. The 3 prisoners are separated into individual rooms. Windowless concrete boxes with restraint chairs bolted to the floor. The first man is young, maybe mid-20s, with defiant eyes and blood crusting around a broken nose. He spits at Dominic when we enter. Go to hell, Carver. Eventually, Dominic pulls up a chair, sitting with deceptive casualness. But you'll get there first if you don't start talking. Who gave the order for tonight's assault? I don't know what you're talking about. Wrong answer. Dominic nods to Marcus, who moves with practiced efficiency. What follows is methodical and brutal, not the Hollywood version of interrogation. All dramatic violence and shouting. This is clinical, calculated, designed to maximize pain while minimizing permanent damage. I force myself to watch, to not look away when the prisoner screams, to understand that this is part of Dominic's world, part of what he does to protect what's his. The man breaks after 20 minutes, sobbing out details between ragged breaths. Victor's location, security measures, Lily's holding cell. It pours out in a desperate flood, and I feel sick satisfaction at each revelation. My sister. We're getting closer to my sister. The second prisoner is older, harder. He doesn't break as easily. Doesn't break at all, actually, choosing unconsciousness over cooperation. Marcus finally shakes his head. They've gotten all they can from that one without killing him. The third prisoner is different. A woman, barely older than Lily, with terrified eyes and trembling hands. Please, she whispers when we enter. Please, I don't want to die. I'll tell you whatever you want. Then talk. Dominic's voice holds none of the warmth I've heard directed at me. What's your role in Victor's organization? Communications. I monitor radio chatter, coordinate team movements. The words tumble out fast and desperate. Tonight was supposed to be a diversionary attack. Victor knew you'd focus all resources on defense. Leave your positions exposed to the real assault. My blood runs cold. What real assault? The shipping yard. Tomorrow's exchange. She looks between us, and her fear seems genuine. It's not just about getting the girl back. Victor's bringing in outside contractors. Mercenaries who don't know you. Don't fear your reputation. He's planning to hit you with overwhelming force. Kill everyone, and disappear with both the girl and Emily. How many mercenaries? Patricia demands. I don't know exactly. 50? Maybe more. She swallows hard. He's been planning this for months. Ever since he learned about Jonathan Hartley's theft. This was never just about recovering stolen documents. It was about destroying you, Mr. Carver. About proving that even the great Dominic Carver can be beaten. He can't. I say quietly, surprising myself with the certainty in my voice. The woman looks at me with something like pity. You really believe that? After the night? He's already inside your head, making you dance to his rhythm. Tomorrow he wins. He always wins. Not this time. Dominic stands, already moving toward the door. Marcus, verify everything she said. Cross-reference with intel from the first prisoner. I want every detail confirmed before we move. And her. Marcus gestures at the woman. Keep her comfortable. She cooperated. He pauses at the door, looking back. But if any of her information proves false, make sure she regrets it. In the corridor, I finally let myself lean against the wall, legs shaking with delayed reaction. That was necessary. Dominic finishes. Not pleasant, not civilized, but necessary to save your sister. I know, and I do, but knowing doesn't make it easier. How do you do it? Day after day, year after year? How do you live with the things you have to do? He's quiet for a long moment, studying me with those intense gray eyes. Then he reaches out, cupping my face with surprising gentleness. I remind myself why I do them, he says softly. The people I protect. The innocents who stay safe because I'm willing to get my hands dirty. The families who sleep soundly because monsters like me hunt other monsters in the dark. And that's enough? That justifies everything. No. His thumb traces my cheekbone. Nothing justifies everything. But it's enough to let me sleep at night. Most nights, anyway. What about the other nights? His smile is bitter. Those are what the expensive scotch is for. Despite everything, the violence, the fear, the impossible situation, I almost laugh. You're insane. Probably. He leans closer, forehead nearly touching mine. But I'm your kind of insane now. For better or worse. Emily Carver, you're stuck with me. The name still sounds foreign, but less so than it did yesterday. Like I'm growing into it, becoming someone who can carry that weight. We should review the intel. Patricia interrupts from down the corridor, her timing impeccable as always. Figure out our approach for tomorrow. Dominic nods, but doesn't immediately release me. One more thing, he murmurs, voice dropping to intimate levels. After we get Lily back, after this is over, I'm going to finish what we started in that elevator. Going to make you mine in every way that matters. You understand what I'm saying? Heat floods through me despite the cold concrete surrounding us. I understand. And you're not running? Where would I run to? I meet his eyes, letting him see the truth. You've ruined me for normal life, Dominic Carver. Might as well finish the job. His answering smile is pure sin. With pleasure, Mrs. Carver. With very thorough pleasure. Then he's pulling away, all business again, striding toward the command center with Patricia and me following. But I catch the heat in his backwards glance, the promise in his eyes. After, when Lily is safe, when Victor is dealt with, when the smoke clears and the bodies are counted, after I become as completely, the thought should terrify me. Instead, it sends anticipation coiling hot and urgent through my veins. Back in the command center, Dominic's team has assembled a tactical display that looks like something from a military operation. The shipping yard is mapped in excruciating detail. Buildings marked, sight lines calculated, optimal positions highlighted. The exchange is set for midnight, Dominic explains, pointing to a large warehouse near the water. Victor will have Lily somewhere in this complex. Based on our intel, probably the main building, good visibility, multiple escape routes, easy to defend. So we're walking into a kill box. I observe, essentially, he doesn't sugarcoat it. Victor wants me dead, wants you captured, wants his documents back. He'll have the advantage of position, numbers, and preparation. Then why are we doing it his way? Why not? I gesture vaguely at the screens. I don't know, assault the place now, before he expects it? Because we don't know where Lily is. Not precisely. Dominic's voice is gentle but firm. If we go in guns blazing and she's caught in a crossfire, or if Victor panics and kills her out of spite, we've lost everything. The exchange gives us a chance to verify she's alive, get her clear of the danger zone, and then end Victor permanently. Assuming we survive the exchange, Patricia adds dryly, there is that. Dominic pulls up another screen showing aerial footage, which is why we're not doing this alone. I've called in favors. Private contractors I trust, teams I've worked with before. By midnight tomorrow, we'll have our own 50 men in position around that shipping yard. Victor thinks he's setting a trap. He has no idea he's walking into one. What about the FBI? I ask. The police? Surely this is the kind of thing law enforcement should handle. The FBI is still investigating the attacks tonight. Local police are overwhelmed with the fires and casualties. And even if we could convince them to act, the bureaucracy would take days we don't have. Dominic's expression hardens. No, this is personal. This ends tomorrow one way or another. Victor, Jonathan Hartley, everyone who put your family in danger, they all answer to me. What about my father? The question comes out smaller than I intended. You're planning to kill him too? Dominic's silence is answer enough. He's still my father, I whisper. He sold you out, put you in danger. Use your sister as a bargaining chip. Dominic's voice is flat, emotionless. Men like that don't deserve mercy. Maybe not, but he deserves a trial. Justice, not execution. Sometimes they're the same thing. Not to me. I meet his eyes, and for the first time tonight, I see a flash of genuine conflict in his expression. I know what he did. I hate him for it. But if you kill him, if you make me complicit in my own father's murder, my voice breaks. I don't know if I can live with that. For a long moment, Dominic just looks at me. The command center has gone quiet, his entire team pretending not to listen while hanging on every word. You're asking me to spare a man who would have watched you die, he says finally. I'm asking you to let me have one person in my family who isn't destroyed by this. One parent who might, eventually find redemption. I step closer, lowering my voice. Please, Dominic. For me. His jaw works, muscles tensing beneath skin. If he interferes tomorrow, if he does anything that puts you or Lily in danger, then do what you have to do, but give him a chance. Just one. He exhales sharply, running a hand through his dark hair. You're going to be the death of me, Devotchka. You know that. Probably, but not tonight. His smile is reluctant but genuine. Not tonight, he agrees. Fine. If your father cooperates, if he stays out of the way and doesn't cause problems, I'll let him live. Hand him over to the authorities. Let them deal with his crimes. But if he betrays us again, he won't. But I'm not sure I believe it. Not after everything. For your sake, I hope you're right. He turns back to the tactical display. Now, let's talk about your role tomorrow. I'm the bait, obviously. You're the primary asset, he corrects. Which means you'll be wearing body armor, carrying tracking devices, and surrounded by my best people at all times. You won't be bait. You'll be the queen in a very dangerous chess game. And Lily, the moment we have visual confirmation she's alive and unharmed, Patricia extracts her. Non-negotiable. Your sister gets out first, then we deal with Victor. And if something goes wrong, I have to ask, have to know. If you have to choose between saving me and saving Lily, it won't come to that. But if it does, he looks at me for a long moment, and I see genuine anguish in his eyes. Then I choose both, or I die trying. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. He crosses to me, hands framing my face with infinite care. You're both mine now, both under my protection. And I don't leave my people behind. Ever. Even if it means sacrificing yourself. Especially then. His thumb brushes across my lips. You think I've lived this long by being careful? By choosing safety over loyalty? I'm alive because I'm willing to do what others won't. Including dying for the people he stops abruptly. For the people you what? My heart hammers against my ribs. But Marcus interrupts before he can answer, calling Dominic over to examine something on the tactical display. The moment breaks, and I'm left wondering what he almost said. The people I protect? The people I employ? Or something else entirely? The next few hours pass in a blur of preparation. Body armor that somehow fits me perfectly despite being nothing like civilian clothing. Communications equipment disguised as jewelry. Weapons training that Patricia insists on despite my protest that I know how to shoot. Knowing and doing under pressure are different things, she says, correcting my stance for the 100th time. When bullets start flying tomorrow, muscle memory needs to take over. Now again, sight, breathe, squeeze. I follow her instructions, putting rounds downrange with increasing accuracy. The recoil no longer surprises me. The noise no longer makes me flinch. I'm adapting, changing into someone who can survive in Dominic's world. By the time we're done, the sky outside is lightening with pre-dawn gray. I'm exhausted, running on adrenaline and fear and a desperate need to see my sister alive. Dominic finds me in the armory, checking and rechecking my weapons with shaking hands. Come, he says softly, offering his hand. You need rest before night. I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see Lily's terrified face, bodies falling, my father's betrayal, all of it swirling together into nightmare fuel. Then don't sleep, but at least lie down. Conserve your strength. He leads me through corridors I'm starting to recognize, up to the residential level I haven't seen yet. His bedroom is surprisingly austere. Large bed, minimal furniture, one wall of windows overlooking the compound's grounds. It's the room of a man who doesn't spend much time here, who uses it for sleep and nothing else. Until now. Showers through there, he says, pointing to an attached bathroom. Take your time. I'll have food brought up. You're not. I gesture at the bathroom. Joining me? His smile is strained. As much as I'd like to, I think we both need clear heads for tomorrow. And if I get you naked right now, clear heads will be the last thing we have. Heat floods through me despite the exhaustion. Rain check. Definitely. He steps closer, and even this near-chase distance makes my pulse race. After, when Lily's safe and Victor's dead, and we have time to do this properly, I'm going to worship every inch of you, Emily Carver. Going to make you forget every fear, every doubt, every moment of tonight. You'll know exactly what it means to be mine. Promises, promises. Not promises. Guarantees. His lips brush my forehead, gentle and possessive at once. Now go. Shower. Rest if you can. I'll be in the command center coordinating final preparations. Dominic? I catch his hand before he can leave. Thank you. For everything. For protecting me. For believing me about my father. For seeing me. For making me feel strong instead of fragile. For turning my prison into something that almost feels like home. Don't thank me yet. His expression is grim. Wait until tomorrow is over and your sister is safe. Then you could decide if I'm worth thanking. He leaves before I can respond, and I'm alone in his bedroom, surrounded by his scent in his space and the weight of tomorrow's uncertainty. The shower helps. Hot water sluicing away blood, and gun oil, and the accumulated grime of the worst night of my life. I let myself cry on a spray where no one can see, let fear and exhaustion and desperate hope pour out until I'm empty. By the time I emerge, wrapped in one of Dominic's shirts because I have nothing else, I feel almost human again, fragile but functional. Food waits on a tray by the bed. I force myself to eat, knowing I'll need the energy. And then, despite my certainty that sleep is impossible, exhaustion drags me down into darkness. I dream of Lily, of my father, of Dominic's blood on my hands and his promise in my ears. After, when I wake, it's late afternoon. Golden light streams through the windows, and someone has covered me with a blanket. The bed dips beside me, and I turn to find Dominic sitting there, watching me sleep with an expression I can't quite read. Time, I ask, voice rough with sleep. 4 hours until we leave. 6 until exchange. He reaches out, brushing hair from my face with infinite gentleness. How do you feel? Terrified, determined, ready to get this over with. I sit up, clutching the blanket to my chest. You. The same, though I'm used to the feeling. His hand finds mine, fingers lacing together. There's something I need to tell you. Before tonight, before everything goes to hell. My heart stutters. That sounds ominous. Maybe. He takes a breath, and for the first time since I've known him, Dominic Carver looks uncertain. When I bought your father's debt, when I orchestrated this marriage, it wasn't just about citizenship or business arrangements. I could have chosen anyone for that, any desperate family with debts to leverage. Then why me? Because I've been watching you for months. The admission hangs between us, heavy with implication. I went to your first gallery show, saw your work, saw you and couldn't look away. You were this incredible contradiction, creating beauty while surrounded by ugliness, finding light in darkness, staying soft in a world that should have hardened you. I stare at him, processing. You stalked me. Essentially. No apology in his voice. I told myself it was just curiosity, that I'd satisfy my interest and move on. But the more I learned about you, your family, your struggles, your art, the more I wanted you in my world, wanted to corrupt you, protect you, claim you for myself. That's insane. I told you I was insane. His thumb traces patterns on my palm. When your father's situation presented itself, I saw an opportunity, a way to get what I wanted while solving his problems. Win-win. Except you manipulated everything, orchestrated my entire life to bring me here. Yes. He meets my eyes, and there's no shame in his. I did, and I'd do it again, because every alternative ends with you dead or broken or forever out of my reach. At least this way, you're here. You're mine. You're alive. I should be furious. Should rage at the violation of my autonomy, the calculated manipulation. But instead, I feel something else entirely. Understanding, maybe, or recognition. Because didn't I do the same thing to my father earlier? Manipulate him, play on his weaknesses, extract what I needed? We're more alike than I want to admit, Dominic and I. both willing to do terrible things for the people we're trying to protect. You're a bastard, I say quietly. I am. An arrogant, controlling, manipulative bastard who thinks he can play puppet master with people's lives. Also true. And I'm probably making a huge mistake by not hating you for it. His smile is slow and devastating. Probably. I reach up, fingers threading through his hair, pulling him down until his lips are inches from mine. Then let's make sure it's worth it. The kiss is different from before. Slower, deeper, less about claiming and more about promising. His hands frame my face with reverence, and I feel the difference in his touch. This isn't a predator taking what he wants. This is a man offering what he has and hoping it's enough. When we finally break apart, both breathing hard, his eyes are molten with barely restrained desire. After, he says roughly, I'm going to take my time with you. Going to make you forget your own name, let alone every doubt about choosing me. Is that a threat or a promise? Both. Always both with us. He stands reluctantly, putting distance between us. Get dressed. Body armor first, then the communications gear. Patricia will help with the details. Dominic? I stop him at the door. For what it's worth, I'm glad you stalked me. Glad you manipulated everything to bring me here. Because the alternative... I think about Victor's men, about tonight's assault, about all the ways I could have died without his protection. The alternative is unthinkable. His smile is pure satisfaction. Good. Now get ready. We have a sister to rescue and a criminal empire to destroy. Just another Tuesday. Despite everything, I laugh. You're insane. You keep saying that. I'm starting to think you like it. He's right. I do. God help me, but I do. 2 hours later, I'm dressed in enough tactical gear to outfit a small military unit. The body armor is surprisingly comfortable, molded to my body in ways that suggest Dominic had it custom-made. The communications equipment is hidden beneath my jacket, just a wire, a tiny earpiece, and a button disguised as a necklace charm. You look like you're ready for war, Patricia observes, making final adjustments. Isn't that what this is? War implies both sides have a chance of winning. Her smile is grim. This is an execution. Victor just doesn't know he's already dead. The confidence should be reassuring. Instead, it makes me more nervous. Overconfidence kills as surely as incompetence. Dominic appears as we're finishing, and the sight of him steals my breath. He's in full tactical gear, weapons visible now instead of concealed, every inch the warrior I watched fight earlier. But his eyes soften when they land on me. Ready, he asks. No, but let's do it anyway. The drive to the shipping yard is tense and silent. 3 SUVs full of armed men, moving through Manhattan like a military convoy. I'm in the middle vehicle with Dominic and Patricia, watching the city lights blur past and trying not to think about all the ways this could go wrong. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Come alone or she dies. No negotiations. No tricks. Midnight at the main warehouse. I show it to Dominic, who reads it with cold fury. Victor, he confirms, trying to separate you from protection. Maybe I should. No, the word is absolute. You're not going in there alone. That's non-negotiable. But if he hurts Lily because I didn't follow instructions, he'll hurt her anyway if he gets a chance. That's what men like Victor do. Dominic's hand finds mine, squeezing. Trust me, Emily. Trust the plan. We're going to get her out. I want to believe him. Need to believe him. Because the alternative is unthinkable. The shipping yard looms ahead, all rust and shadows, an abandoned industry. Our convoy stops at the perimeter, and Dominic's team disperses with military efficiency. Within minutes, they're in position, invisible but present, surrounding the main warehouse where Victor waits. Final check, Dominic says, and Patricia runs to the communications equipment one last time. Everything works. Everything is ready. Everything except my nerve. Hey! Dominic tilts my face up to his. You've got this. You're stronger than you know, fiercer than Victor expects, and you're not alone. I'll be in your ear the whole time. And if anything goes wrong, If you even think you're in danger, you say the word and we come in. Understood. Understood. He kisses me then, hard and possessive and full of dark promise. After, he murmurs against my lips. Remember that. After, I agree. Then Patricia is opening my door, and it's time. The warehouse looms like a cathedral of rust and broken dreams. I walk toward alone, or apparently alone, my footsteps echoing against concrete. Every shadow could hide an enemy. Every sound could be a threat. I'm here. I call out when I reach the entrance. I came alone, like you asked. Now show me my sister. For a long moment, nothing. Then a door creaks open, and Victor Constantine steps out. He's handsome in a cold, reptilian way. Sharp features, expensive suit, eyes that calculate the value of everything they see. Including me. Emily Hartley, he says, voice accented but clear. Or should I say Emily Carver? Such a quick courtship. One might almost think it wasn't genuine. Where's Lily? Right to business. I like that. He gestures, and two men drag my sister out. She's alive. Bruised, terrified, but alive. Relief hits, so hard my knees nearly buckle. Lily! I start forward, but Victor raises a hand. Not yet. First, we discuss terms. What terms? You have what you want. Let her go. What I want, Victor says slowly, is the documents your father stole. What I have is leverage. Different things entirely. The documents burned. My studio. Your studio is damaged but not destroyed. And my sources tell me Carver's men saved several pieces. Including, I suspect, the very paintings your father used to hide his insurance. Victor's smile is poisonous. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell me where those paintings are. And then I'm going to decide if your sister lives or dies. Behind him, Lily sobs. The sound rips through me like bullets. I don't know where they are. I say, and it's the truth. Dominic's men took them somewhere for safekeeping. I haven't seen them since the fire. Then call your husband. Have him bring them here. Victor pulls out a gun, pressing it to Lily's temple. You have 5 minutes. Or I start shooting pieces off your baby sister. Dominic, I whisper into my hidden microphone. He wants the paintings. What do I do? Stall him. Dominic's voice crackles in my ear. We're moving into position. 2 minutes. I need more than 5 minutes. I tell Victor. The paintings are in a secure location. It'll take time to retrieve them. Then your sister has less time than I thought. His finger tightens on the trigger, and that's when everything goes sideways. A shot rings out, not from Victor, but from somewhere behind me. One of Victor's men drops, and suddenly the warehouse explodes into chaos. Dominic's team pouring in from all sides. Victor's men returning fire. Lily screaming as her captors drag her deeper into the warehouse. I'm running before I think, gun drawn, heading toward my sister. Emily, no. Dominic's voice in my ear, but I ignore it. Lily needs me. Nothing else matters. I round a corner and come face to face with my father, gun raised, pointing directly at my chest. And in his eyes, I see something that makes my blood freeze. Not regret, not guilt, determination. I'm sorry, sweetheart, he says, but I need those paintings more than I need you. The gun flashes, and everything goes black. Chapter 7, Shattered Truths. Pain. White hot. Searing pain that radiates from my chest and steals every thought except the animal need to breathe, to survive, to not die on this filthy warehouse floor, while my father stands over me with a gun, the body armor. The thought surfaces through the agony. Dominic made me wear body armor. The bullet didn't penetrate, but the impact feels like being kicked by a horse. I'm on my back, gasping, staring up at fluorescent lights that flicker and buzz. My father's face swims into view above me, and there's something terrible in his expression. Not remorse. Calculation. Stay down, he says almost gently. This will all be over soon. Then he's moving past me, deeper into the warehouse, toward the sounds of gunfire and chaos. Toward Lily. I force myself to move. Every breath feels like broken glass, but I roll onto my side, then my knees finally stagger upright. The gun! I dropped it when I fell. I search frantically, find it near a stack of shipping pallets. Emily. Dominic's voice in my ear, frantic now. Emily, answer me. Are you hit? Answer me. Body armor held. I gasp, each word torture. He shot me, but it held. Dominic, my father, he's going after Lily. He's going to. I see him. Cold fury in his voice now. Stay where you are. I'm coming to you. No, get Lily first. I'm moving again, following the path my father took. She's a priority. She's... A massive explosion rocks the warehouse, throwing me against the wall. My ears ring with the aftermath, muffling the screams and gunfire into something distant and surreal. Smoke pours through the building, acrid and choking. Through the haze, I see figures grappling. Men fighting with brutal efficiency. Blood on concrete. Bodies that don't get back up. Then I see her, Lily, pressed against a far wall, hands zip-tied behind her back. Two of Victor's men flanking her. And my father approaching with something that looks like tender concern, but feels like poison. It's okay, sweetheart, he's saying to her. Daddy's here. I'm going to get you out of this. Don't touch her. The words tear from my throat, raw and vicious. Everyone turns. My father's face goes pale when he sees me upright, sees the gun in my hand pointed directly at his chest. Emily, be reasonable. You shot me. My hands shake, but my aim doesn't waver. Your own daughter. You shot me. The vest. I knew you'd be wearing a vest. Carver would have insisted on it. I just needed you down long enough to get to Lily first. He takes a step toward my sister. Now, put the gun down and let me handle this. Handle what? Trading Lily for the paintings? Selling another daughter to save your worthless skin? I'm protecting this family. His composure finally cracks. Everything I've done, every choice, every sacrifice, has been to keep us safe, to keep us together. You shot me. The words come out broken now, thick with betrayal. What kind of protection is that? The kind that means I get to choose which daughter lives. His own gun rises again, and this time it's pointed at Lily. Put your weapon down, Emily, or I put a bullet in her head, and tell Victor you're the only Hartley left to negotiate with. Time freezes. I see it all with terrible clarity. My father's finger on the trigger, Lily's terror-wide eyes, Victor's men watching with predatory interest. The impossible choice laid bare. My life for my sisters. Again. Always. Okay. I whisper, lowering my gun. Okay. You win. Just don't hurt her. Please. I'm watching my father's face, seeing triumph there, when Patricia's voice crackles in my ear. He's bluffing. Heat's signature shows his weapon isn't even loaded. He fired his only bullet at you. Hope flares, vicious and hot. My father can't shoot Lily. Can't shoot anyone. He's as trapped as we are, just better at hiding it. You're lying, I say, voice steady now. Certain. Your gun is empty. You've got nothing. For one terrible second, my father's mask slips completely. I see the desperate, cornered animal beneath. The man who's been one step ahead of disaster for so long he's forgotten how to do anything else. Then Victor laughs. How delightful, he says, stepping out of the shadows with his own weapon raised. A family reunion, complete with betrayal and empty threats. But I'm afraid we're out of time for amateur hour. He nods to his men, who immediately grab both my father and Lily. My sister screams, thrashing against her captors. Dad just sags, all fight draining from him. Now then, Victor approaches me with calculated steps. Since your father so helpfully demonstrated his willingness to shoot you, and since those paintings are clearly somewhere in Carver's possession, I think it's time we simplified matters. He raises his gun, pressing the barrel to my forehead. The metal is cold, absolute. Tell Carver to bring the paintings here. Now, or I execute you. Then your sister, then your pathetic father, and hunt down every Hartley relative I can find. Starting with he pauses, pulling out his phone with his free hand. Ah, yes, your mother. Stage for cancer, correct? I'm sure she'd welcome a visit from my men. White-hot rage floods through me. burning away fear. Touch my mother and I'll kill you myself. Brave words from a woman with a gun to her head. But something flickers in his eyes. Respect, maybe, or recognition of a fellow predator. Make the call, Mrs. Carver. I grow impatient. Dominic, I say, clearly, knowing he's listening. He wants the paintings. He's threatening Mom if you don't comply. Silence in my ear. Then Dominic's voice. So cold it makes Victor's threats sound warm by comparison. Victor Constantine, I'm going to give you one chance to walk away from this alive. I don't think you're in a position to negotiate. Victor calls out, loud enough for the microphone to pick up. I have your wife, her sister, and her father. I have all the leverage. You have hostages. I have the building surrounded, explosives planted on every support column, and snipers with clean shots on every one of your men. A pause. Including you. Victor's eyes narrow. You're bluffing. Am I? Check your left shoulder. Red dot from Peterson's laser sight. Your man at 3 o'clock. Another one. I can paint this entire warehouse in red dots, if you'd like. Would that convince you? I see Victor's throat work as he swallows. See uncertainty creep into his expression. Or, Dominic continues, we can discuss this like civilized people. You release the hostages, walk away with your life, and I'll consider not hunting you to the ends of the earth. And the paintings were destroyed in the fire. The documents your employer wanted so badly? Ash! There's nothing left to bargain with except bodies, Victor. And I'm very good at producing those. For a long moment, no one moves. The gun stays pressed to my forehead. Lily sobs quietly. My father stares at nothing, broken. Then Victor smiles, and I see madness dancing in his eyes. You think I'm afraid of dying, Carver? I've been dead inside for 20 years. But I'll be damned if I go alone. His finger tightens on the trigger. See you in. The shot rings out before he can finish. But it's not from his gun. Victor staggers backward, a red flower blooming on his chest. The weapon drops from nerveless fingers. He looks down at the wound with something like surprise, then back at me. Well played, he whispers. Then he falls. I'm still standing there, frozen, when Patricia peers from shadows. Smoke curls from her weapon's barrel. Told you I had the shot, she says intercom then to me. You okay? I'm not sure. The gun was pressed to my head. Victor was going to kill me, and then he just wasn't. Lily, I manage. Get Lily. Patricia's already moving, weapon trained on Victor's men. They're smart enough to raise their hands, to step away from my sister. Within seconds, Dominic's team pours in, securing the area with practice efficiency. And then Dominic is there, pulling me against his chest so hard I can barely breathe. His heart hammers against my ear, his hands running over me frantically checking for injuries. You're okay, he breathes. You're okay, you're... He pulls back, cupping my face. Don't ever ignore my orders like that again. When I said stay put, I meant... I kiss him, cutting off the tirade. It's desperate and messy and tastes like smoke and fear and relief. His arms tighten around me, and for one perfect moment, the world reduces to just this, his mouth on mine, his warmth surrounding me, proof that we both survived. Emily. Lily's voice breaks through, high and panicked. I pull away from Dominic and turn to find my sister stumbling toward me, zip ties cut, mascara-streaked face crumpling with relief. She crashes into me, sobbing, and I hold her tight enough to hurt. I've got you, I whisper into her hair. You're safe. You're safe now. He said, Dad said he was going to save me, but then he just... Her words dissolve into incoherent crying. Over her head, I see my father being restrained by 2 of Dominic's men. He's not fighting, not protesting, just standing there with dead eyes, like a puppet with cut strings. What do we do with him? Patricia asks, gun trained on him with casual efficiency. Dominic's expression is murderous. What we planned, turn him over to the FBI. Let him answer for his crimes. No, the word surprises me as much as everyone else. Not yet. Emily, Dominic starts. I need to talk to him first. Alone. I gently disentangle myself from Lily, handing her to Patricia. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Dominic studies me for a long moment, then nods slowly. 5 minutes. But I'm watching from the doorway, and if he so much as looks at you wrong, I know. I touch his face, grateful for the possessive fury burning in his eyes. Thank you. They clear a space in a corner of the warehouse, giving the illusion of privacy, while keeping eyes on us. My father stands there, shoulders slumped, looking every one of his 60 years, and then some. I loved you, I say quietly. Even when I knew you were flawed, even when I saw your mistakes, I loved you, because you were my father, and I thought, my voice breaks. I thought that meant something to you. It did. It does. He looks up, and there are tears tracking through the grime on his face. Emily, everything I did, everything you did was to save yourself. The words come out flat, emotionless. You didn't hide those documents to protect the family. You hid them to have leverage, to buy yourself escape routes while we burned. You didn't come here tonight to save Lily. You came to trade her for documents that don't even exist anymore. They exist. His voice is barely a whisper. I made copies. Digital backups hidden in places even you don't know about. The paintings were just one repository. I have others. I always have others. Understanding crashes over me. You were never going to let this end. Were you? Even if you'd gotten the paintings, even if you'd paid off Victor, you'd have kept those backups, kept the leverage, kept us all trapped in your web of lies and debts. I thought, he swallows hard, I thought if I had enough insurance, enough leverage, I could keep everyone safe. Your mother's treatments, Lily's education, your studio. All of it required money we didn't have. Money I had to get somehow. So you became a criminal, a traitor, a man willing to shoot his own daughter. I knew the vest would hold, but there's no conviction in his voice. You hoped it would hold. There's a difference. I step closer, and he flinches. Good. You want to know the worst part, Dad? It's not the shooting. It's not even the betrayal. It's that you made me just like you. What? I manipulated you earlier. Played on your guilt and fear to extract information. I shot people tonight without hesitation. I married a criminal to save the family, just like you made deals with criminals to save yourself. I laugh, bitter and broken. We're the same, you and I, both willing to compromise our souls for family. The only difference is I'll own what I become. You'll spend the rest of your life pretending you're the victim. Emily, please. Here's what's going to happen. My voice is cold now, channeling Dominic's icy control. You're going to give Dominic access to all your backups. Every copy, every hiding place, every piece of leverage you've hoarded. You're going to cooperate fully with the FBI, testify against Victor's organization, and accept whatever sentence they give you. And in exchange, I don't let Dominic kill you. I make sure Mom never knows the full extent of what you did. And I tell Lily whatever version of this story lets her sleep at night. I lean close, making sure he sees the steel in my eyes. But you and I, we're done. You're not my father anymore. You're just a criminal who used to share my last name. Please don't do this. He's crying openly now. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but you're my daughter. No, the word is absolute. I'm Dominic Carver's wife. That's who I am now. That's who I choose to be. Because at least he's honest about what he is. At least he doesn't hide behind family and love while destroying everything he touches. I turn away before he can respond, before the tears burning my eyes can fall where he can see them. Dominic is there immediately, pulling me into his arms, letting me break in private against his chest. It's done, I whisper. He's yours now. Do whatever you need to do. You're sure? I'm sure. Over my shoulder, I watch Marcus lead my father away. He looks back once, mouth open like he wants to say something. But I turn my face into Dominic's shoulder, refusing to give him even that much. Some bridges, once burned, can never be rebuilt. Lily? I ask when I can speak again. Patricia's taking her to the compound. Medical team is standing by to check her over, make sure she wasn't hurt. Dominic's voice rumbles through his chest. She's asking for you. I need a minute first. Need to. To what? Process that my father tried to kill me? That I just disowned him? That everything I thought I knew about my family was a lie? I need a minute. Take all the time you need. He holds me tighter. We're not going anywhere. The warehouse gradually empties as Dominic's team secures the scene and removes bodies. Victor's corpse is already gone, along with his men. Some arrested, some dead, all neutralized. The shipping yard will be crawling with police soon, drawn by the explosions and gunfire. But for now, in this moment, it's just us, Dominic and me, standing in the ruins of my old life, while something new struggles to be born. I kept my promise, he says quietly. I got your sister back. You did. I pull back enough to meet his eyes. Thank you for everything, for protection, the resources, the way you made me feel strong instead of broken, the way you looked at me like I was worth saving even when I wasn't sure I was worth the effort. For all of it. His thumb brushes away a tear I didn't realize had fallen. You don't have to thank me for protecting what's mine. Is that all I am? Something you own? No, the word is fierce. You're everything. The reason I'm standing here instead of burning this whole city down. The light that made me remember I'm human under all the monster. Dominic, I love you. The confession comes out rough, like admitting it causes physical pain. I've loved you since I watched you defend your art to some pretentious collector at your first show. Loved you when you challenged me at our first meeting. Loved you every moment since, even when I was manipulating you into marriage. Especially then, because you fought so hard to maintain your dignity, even as your world collapsed. I should say it back. Should tell him that somewhere between gunfire and interrogations and blood on concrete, I fell for him too, for his darkness and his protection, and the way he makes me feel like I can survive anything. But the words stick in my throat, too new and fragile to expose to light. Instead, I kiss him, pour every complicated emotion into the press of lips and tongue, the desperate clutch of hands, the way our bodies fit together like we were made for this, for each other. He tastes like smoke and promise, like danger and safety twisted into something addictive, like coming home to a place I never knew I was searching for. When we finally break apart, both breathing hard, his eyes are molten silver. After, he murmurs against my lips, I'm holding you to that promise. Tonight, when this is done, you're mine completely. I'm already yours. The admission feels like surrender and victory at once. Have been since you made me sign that contract. Maybe since before. His smile is pure masculine satisfaction. Good. Because I'm never letting you go. Devotchka. Never letting you out of my sight again. You scared 10 years off my life tonight. Only 10? I was aiming for 20 at least. He laughs. The sound unexpected and beautiful in the ruins around us. You're going to be the death of me. Probably, but not tonight. No. He kisses my forehead, gentle and possessive. Not tonight. Tonight we survived. Together. Patricia's voice crackles through the comms. Sir, we need to move. Police are 3 minutes out, and I prefer to be gone before they arrive with questions. Copy that. Dominic pulls back reluctantly, already shifting into commander mode. Come on, let's get you and Lily somewhere safe. Somewhere you can both start healing. What about Victor's organization? His employers? All the people who wanted those documents? Leave that to me. His smile turns cold. I'm very good at sending messages to people who need to learn where the boundaries are. By tomorrow morning, everyone will know what happens to those who threaten what's mine. More bodies, if necessary, but mostly just fear. He guides me toward the exit where SUVs wait with engines running. Fear is more effective than violence, more lasting, and far more profitable. That's terrifying. That's business. He helps me into the vehicle, sliding in beside me. Welcome to your new life, Mrs. Carver. Hope you're ready for the ride. I look back at the warehouse one last time, at the scene of my father's final betrayal, Victor's death, my own transformation from victim to survivor. I'm ready, I say, and I mean it. Whatever comes next, whoever I'm becoming, I'll face it with the same strength that got me through tonight. With Dominic beside me and Lily safe, and my father's lies finally exposed to light, the SUV pulls away, leaving ruins in our wake. Dominic's hand finds mine in the darkness, fingers lacing together with possessive certainty. What happens now? I ask. Now. His eyes gleam in the passing streetlights. Now I keep my promises, starting with the one about making you mine in every way that matters. Heat floods through me despite the exhaustion. Dominic, I'm covered in blood and smoke, and you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. He pulls me closer, lips brushing my ear. But if you need time, if you need space to process everything that happened tonight. No, the word comes out fierce, certain. No more waiting. No more delays. I want you, us, this twisted, dangerous, impossible thing we built together. I want everything you promise. His answering smile is pure sin. Then everything is what you'll get. The drive back to the compound passes, in charged silence. Dominic's thumb traces patterns on my palm that feel like promises, like warnings, like the beginning of something that might destroy us both or make us unstoppable. I'm betting on the latter. When we arrive, Patricia is waiting with Lily. My sister has been cleaned up, dressed in borrowed clothes, medical team pronouncing her physically unharmed, if emotionally traumatized. She launches herself at me the moment I exit the vehicle. I thought you were dead, she sobs. When Dad shot you when you fell, I thought, I'm fine. The vest held. I'm fine. I hold her tight, breathing in her familiar scent under the smoke and fear. You're safe now. That's all that matters. But Dad, he was going to. Her words dissolve into crying again. I know. I stroke her hair, making soothing sounds. I know what he was going to do, but it's over now. He can't hurt either of us anymore. Where is he? Being held for the FBI. He'll be arrested, probably go to prison for a long time. I pull back enough to meet her eyes. I'm sorry, Lils. I know that's not what you want to hear. It's what he deserves. The steel in her voice surprises me. After what he did to you, to Mom, to all of us, he deserves to rot. Maybe. I brush tears from her cheeks. But you don't have to carry that anger. Let me carry it for both of us. How are you so strong? She searches my face like she's looking for cracks. How are you not falling apart? Because I already did. Because I broke and reformed into something harder. Because Dominic Carver taught me that survival sometimes means embracing the darkness instead of fighting it. I had good teachers, I say instead, and I had something worth surviving for. You. Fresh tears spilled down her face. I love you, Em. I love you, too. I kiss her forehead. Now go with Patricia. She'll get you settled in a room. Make sure you have everything you need. Tomorrow we'll figure out the rest. School, therapy, whatever you need to process this. What about you? I glance at Dominic, who's been watching this exchange with carefully controlled expression. I have something I need to do first. Then I'll check on you. I promise. Lily follows my gaze, and understanding dawns in her eyes. Oh, you're going to. Good night, Lily. I cut her off firmly, cheeks heating. She grins despite her tears. Use protection. Lily. Her laughter follows her as Patricia leads her away. And despite everything, the violence, the betrayal, the impossible night we survived, I find myself smiling. Dominic moves close, sliding an arm around my waist. She's resilient, like her sister. She's 19 and traumatized. She's going to need a lot of support. Then we'll make sure she gets it. Therapy, security, whatever she needs. His lips brush my temple. But right now I need you to myself. Just for a few hours. Yes. I turn in his arms, rising on tiptoes to kiss him. Yes to whatever you're about to ask. Yes to everything. Take me somewhere private and keep your promises. His eyes darken with heat and possession. You're sure? After everything tonight, you still want. I've never been more sure of anything. And it's true. Despite the chaos, despite the blood and betrayal and impossible choices, this feels right. Being in his arms feels right. Choosing him feels right. Maybe that makes me broken. Or maybe it just makes me his. Either way, I'm done fighting it. Then come with me, he murmurs, already guiding me toward the residential wing. And let me show you exactly what it means to be mine. We're almost to his room when my phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. My blood runs cold as I read it. Well played, Emily Carver. You survived the night. But the game isn't over. Your father's documents are still out there, still valuable. And some of us are very patient hunters. Sleep well. We'll be in touch. I show it to Dominic. Watch his expression go from heated to murderous in an instant. Victor wasn't working alone. He says grimly, there's another player. Someone we didn't account for. Who? I don't know yet, but I'll find out. He pulls me closer, protective and possessive. And when you do, I interrupt. We'll handle it together, like we handled tonight. Like we'll handle everything from now on. He studies my face for a long moment, then nods slowly. Together, he agrees. But tomorrow, I add, reaching up to cup his face. Tonight, you promise me something, and I intend to collect. His smile returns, dark and full of promise. Then let's not keep destiny waiting. He sweeps me into his arms, carrying me the rest of the way to his bedroom like I weigh nothing. I should protest the caveman routine, but instead I loop my arms around his neck and let myself enjoy being claimed, being wanted, being his. The door closes behind us, and I hear the lock click with mechanical finality. Outside, threats still circle. My father awaits judgment. Unknown enemies plot our destruction. But in this moment, in this room, it's just us, Dominic and Emily, predator and willing prey. Two damaged souls finding something like salvation in each other's darkness. He sets me down gently, hands already working at the tactical gear cover my body. I'm going to take my time with you, he murmurs, voice rough with restrained desire. Go to worship every inch. Going to make you forget everything except how good this feels, how right we are together. Promises, promises. No. He captures my mouth in a kiss that steals my breath. Guarantees. And as his hands map my skin with reverent intensity, as his mouth follows the path his fingers trace, as I finally, let myself surrender completely to this dangerous, impossible man, I realize something important. I'm not Emily Hartley anymore. Not the naive artist who walked into that gallery show what feels like a lifetime ago. I'm Emily Carver, wife to a criminal, killer in my own right, survivor of impossible odds. And I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Chapter 8, Empire of Ashes. 3 months later. The morning sun cuts through floor-to-ceiling windows, painting gold across silk sheets and tangled limbs. I wake to the sensation of Dominic's fingers tracing lazy patterns down my spine, his other hand splayed possessively across my hip. You're thinking too loud, he murmurs against my shoulder blade, lips following the path his fingers just traced. I can hear the wheels turning from here. Maybe I like thinking, but I arch into his touch anyway, body responding even as my mind races with the day's agenda. Board meeting at 10. Security briefing at noon. Lunch with Lily to check on her therapy progress. And tonight is ours, Dominic says, reading my mind with the uncanny accuracy he's developed over the past 3 months. No business, no family drama, just us and that reservation I made at Maria. We have dinner plans every night this week, and I plan to keep you well-fed and thoroughly satisfied. His hand slides lower, and I feel his smile against my skin when I gasp. Speaking of satisfaction, my phone buzzes on the nightstand, shattering the moment. I reach for it, but Dominic is faster, snatching away with the speed of a predator. It's Patricia, he says, scanning the screen. His expression shifts from playful to deadly serious in an instant. We have movement. Just like that, the spell breaks. We're no longer just lovers tangled in morning light. We're partners in something darker, more dangerous. He's already out of bed, pulling on clothes with efficient grace while I do the same. What kind of movement? I ask, secure my hair back in a practical twist. The kind that's been circling for 3 months. The sender of that text finally made their play. He's on his phone now, firing off rapid instructions. Marcus, I want full lockdown. Patricia, get Lily to the safe room. Victor, he pauses, meeting my eyes. Get Emily's mother to the secure medical facility. Now! My blood runs cold. Mom? They're going after Mom. Not yet, but they will if we give them the opportunity. He crosses to me, cupping my face with surprising gentleness despite the urgency crackling through him. This is what we prepared for, what we've been planning for since that text arrived. You know what to do. I do. We've run these scenarios dozens of times over the past 3 months. Dominic's paranoia, or as he calls it, prudent caution, means we have protocols for everything. The documents, I say, they're still after my father's backups, which we have secure in 7 different locations, each guarded by people I trust with my life. They're not getting them, Emily, but they're going to try, which means war. I finish his thought, feeling something dark and certain settle in my chest. Not fear, not anymore. Something closer to anticipation. When Patricia traced the source of this morning's threat to a warehouse in Brooklyn. Same organization that backed Victor, different leadership. They've been patient, waiting for us to get comfortable, waiting for the moment we drop our guard. Joke's on them. I checked the weapon I've taken to keeping in the nightstand, a gift from Dominic on our 1-month anniversary that should probably concern me more than it does. We never dropped our guard. His smile is fierce with approval. That's my wife. The phrase still sends heat through me, even now. Even 3 months into this marriage that started as a business arrangement and transformed into something far more complicated, far more real. We're in the command center within minutes, finding it already buzzing with controlled chaos. Screens display surveillance feeds from a dozen locations. Maps show troop positions, because that's what they are now. Troops, an actual private army that Dominic commands with terrifying efficiency. Patricia briefs us with her usual calm competence. The threat came through encrypted channels at 0600. They're demanding the documents by midnight, or they start targeting family members. Specifically, she pulls up a photo that makes my stomach drop. They've identified your mother's care facility. Mom's smiling face looks back at me from the screen, captured by a long-range camera as she sits in her garden reading. She looks peaceful, happy, completely unaware that her daughter married into a world where such peaceful moments are weaponized. She's already being moved. Dominic says quietly, hand finding the small of my back. Marcus has a team en route. 30 minutes, and she'll be in our secure facility with round-the-clock protection. And Lily? Safe room, as ordered. Patricia will stay with her until the all-clear. He turns to his security chief. What else? Your father... Patricia says, and my chest tightens. Jonathan Hartley is being transferred from federal, holding to a maximum security facility today. They're planning to hit the transport. Of course they are. My father, still sitting on digital copies of those damn documents despite his promises to cooperate. Still playing games. Still believing he's smarter than everyone else. Let them, I say, surprising myself with the coldness in my voice. He made his choices. Let him face the consequences. Dominic studies me carefully. You're sure? He's still your father. He stopped being my father when he put a gun to my chest. The words come out flat, emotionless. 3 months of processing. 3 months of therapy alongside Lily. 3 months of learning to separate the man who raised me from the monster he became. If they want him that badly, let them have him. One less problem for us to manage. Something flashes in Dominic's eyes. Approval mixed with concern. Emily, I'm not being cruel. I'm being practical. I turn back to the screens, to the tactical displays showing enemy positions and potential targets. You taught me that sentiment is a liability in situations like this, so I'm choosing to be practical instead. There's a difference between practical and cold. Is there? I meet his gaze steadily. You've killed dozens of people in the 3 months since the warehouse. I've watched you order executions, coordinate attacks, eliminate threats without hesitation. And I've never once questioned it, because I know it's necessary. Why is my father different? Because he's family. So is Lily. So is Mom. They're the family that matters. I gesture at my father's photo on the screen. He's just a biological connection to a man who tried to murder me. The sooner you accept that, the easier this gets. Patricia clears her throat. Sir, we need decisions. Do we protect the transport or let it play out? Dominic looks at me for a long moment, something complicated warring in his expression. Then he nods once, sharp and decisive. Let it play out. But I want surveillance on the whole thing. If they grab Jonathan, I want to know where they take him, who's giving orders, what their end game is. We use him as bait to draw them into the open. Using my father as bait, I muse. There's a certain poetic justice in that. You become very comfortable with this world very quickly, Dominic observes, and I can't tell if he's impressed or concerned. You made me comfortable with it. All those nights teaching me strategy, showing me how you think, explaining why certain decisions have to be made. I move closer, rising on tiptoes to brush my lips against his. I learn from the best. I created a monster, he murmurs, but his arms come around me automatically. You created your perfect partner. I pull back, already shifting focus back to the screens. Now, let's show these people why threatening the Carver family is a death sentence. The next few hours pass in a blur of coordination and planning. Marcus reports that my mother is secure, confused about the sudden move, but safe. Lily texts from the safe room, scared but trusting that we know what we're doing. And my father's transport gets hit exactly as predicted. We watch it happen in real time through traffic cameras and drone surveillance. 3 SUVs boxing in the prison transport on a quiet stretch of highway. Armed men in tactical gear executing a textbook extraction. Jonathan Hartley being pulled from the vehicle, looking terrified and small in his orange jumpsuit. They bundle him into one of the SUVs and speed away, leaving the transport guards unconscious but alive. Professional, organized, expensive. Track them, Dominic orders, and his team springs into action. We follow the SUVs through Brooklyn, watching as they take an increasingly circuitous route designed to throw off pursuit. But Dominic's resources are better than they anticipated. Satellite tracking, facial recognition, traffic camera access. We see everything. They end up at a warehouse near the waterfront. Predictable, really. Criminals love their warehouses. How many men? I ask, studying the building's layout on our screens. Thermal imaging shows 23 inside, Marcus reports, plus your father. They've set up in the main floor, probably planning to interrogate him. Let them. Dominic's voice is ice cold. Let them think they've won. Let Jonathan tell them everything he knows about the documents' locations. And when they move to retrieve them, we spring the trap. I finish, seeing the elegance of it. The documents are guarded. The moment they try to take them, your teams are already in position. We capture their whole operation at once instead of playing whack-a-mole with cells. His smile is pure predator. You really have been paying attention. I'm a good student. I turn to Marcus. What's the timeline? Based on typical interrogation protocols, we're looking at 2 to 3 hours before they have actionable intelligence from him. Then another hour to coordinate teams and move on the document locations. Marcus pulls up a tactical clock. Call it 1,800 hours before they make their play. Then we have time. Dominic's hand finds mine, fingers lacing together with familiar intimacy. Time to prepare, position our people, and make sure when this goes down, we control every variable. And my father? I have to ask, even though I already know the answer. Depends on how cooperative he is with them. If he gives up locations quickly, tries to bargain for his freedom, Dominic's shrug is eloquent. Then he's demonstrated where his loyalties lie. If he stonewalls, tries to protect the information despite everything, then maybe there's something worth saving in him after all. But I don't believe it. Not really. 3 months hasn't been enough to forget the feeling of his bullet hitting my chest, the calculation in his eyes as he pointed his gun at Lily. Some betrayals can't be forgiven, can't be forgotten. I spend the next few hours in what Patricia calls productive anxiety, checking and rechecking weapons, reviewing the tactical plans until I can recite them from memory, making sure Lily has everything she needs in the safe room. You're hovering. Dominic observes when I return to command center for the 5th time in an hour. I'm being thorough. You're being nervous. He pulls me against his side, and despite everything, the danger, the planning, the lives hanging in the balance, I feel safe there. It's okay to be nervous, Devachka. It means you're human. I thought being human was a liability in your world. Being human is what keeps us from becoming the monsters we fight. His lips brush my temple. The day you stop feeling nervous before a fight is the day you've lost something essential. Do you get nervous? Terrified. Every single time. At my surprised look, he adds, the fear is what keeps me sharp, what makes me check every angle, plan for every contingency. The moment I stop being afraid is the moment I make a fatal mistake. That's oddly comforting. Good, because in about, he checks his watch, 43 minutes, we're going to hit that warehouse with everything we have. And I need you focused, not spiraling. I don't spiral. His smile says he knows better. You've been reorganizing the weapons locker for 20 minutes. That's spiraling. That's being prepared. That's anxiety with a productive outlet. He turns me to face him fully, hands framing my face. Listen to me. We have this. The plan is solid. Our people are the best, and you've trained for exactly this scenario. Trust yourself. Trust me. Trust that we're going to walk out there alive and victorious. And if we don't, then we die fighting side by side, exactly as we're meant to. He kisses me, deep and claiming and full of dark promise. But I don't plan on dying today, Emily Carver. I have too many wicked plans for you tonight. Despite everything, I laugh. Only you can make survival sound sexy. Survival is very sexy, especially when it ends with you naked in my bed. Pretty sure it ends with a mountain of paperwork and at least 3 different agencies asking uncomfortable questions. That's tomorrow's problem. His phone buzzes with an incoming alert. And speaking of today's problems, they're moving. Jonathan gave them the locations. I feel something cold settle in my chest. How long did he hold out? 37 minutes. Marcus pulls up interrogation footage we really shouldn't have access to, but somehow do. He told them everything. Document location, security protocols. Even the contingency plans we set up in case of exactly this scenario. On screen, I watch my father talk. Watch him betray us again with the same panic desperation I've seen too many times. Watch him bargain with information that isn't his to give, trying to save himself one more time. He never learns, I say quietly. No. Dominic's voice holds something almost like pity. He doesn't, which is why this ends tonight. One way or another, Jonathan Hartley's ability to cause damage ends tonight. You're going to kill him. I'm going to give him the trial you asked for. Dominic's eyes meet mine, steady and certain. But if he happens to die resisting arrest, if enemy fire happens to find him during the chaos, he shrugs. These things happen in war zones. I should protest. Should demand he spare my father despite everything. Should cling to some shred of the girl I was 3 months ago who believed family meant something. Instead, I hear myself say, no enemy fire. If he dies, it should be quick. Clean. He doesn't deserve to suffer, just to stop being a threat. You're sure? I'm sure. And I am. Whatever Jonathan Hartley was to me once, whatever genetic material we share, he's not my father anymore. He's just another enemy who needs to be neutralized before he hurts anyone else I love. The realization should horrify me, should make me question what I become under Dominic's influence. Instead, it just feels like acceptance, like finally seeing the world clearly instead of through the rose-colored lens of familial obligation. Then let's end this, Dominic says, already moving toward the armory. Gear up. We move in 30 minutes. I follow, checking weapons with practice efficiency. Body armor that's been custom-fitted to my measurements. Communications equipment that's become as familiar as jewelry. A tactical vest heavy with ammunition and equipment I've learned to use with disturbing proficiency. Patricia appears as I'm securing the last buckle, her own gear already in place. Ready? as I'll ever be. I catch a reflection in the mirror. Another woman transformed by Dominic's world into something harder, sharper, more dangerous. You ever regret this? The violence, the constant danger, the way it changes you. She considers the question carefully. Every day, and not at all. At my confused look, she adds, I regret that the world is cruel enough to require women like us. But I don't regret becoming someone who can survive in that world, who can protect the people who matter. That's very philosophical for someone about to potentially kill multiple people. Philosophy is what keeps us from becoming the monsters we fight. She echoes Dominic's earlier words, and I realize they've had this conversation before. Multiple times, probably. The moment we stop questioning, stop feeling the weight of what we do, that's when we've lost. So we carry the weight. We carry the weight, and we move forward anyway. She offers her hand, and I take it. Ready to save your father from himself one last time? Ready to end this so he can't hurt anyone anymore. Close enough. The convoy leaves exactly on schedule. 3 SUVs full of Dominic's best people, armed for war and trained for precision. I'm in the lead vehicle with Dominic and Marcus, watching the city blur past through bulletproof glass. My phone buzzes. Lily, checking in from the safe room. Love you. Be safe. Come home. I type back quickly. Love you too. Always. Because that's what this is all about, really. Not revenge or justice or proving anything. Just making sure the people I love stay safe. Making sure Lily never has to watch another person she trusts put a gun to her head. Approaching target. The driver announces, and everyone shifts into combat mode. The warehouse looms ahead, ugly and industrial against the waterfront. Exactly the kind of place criminals do their dirty work. Thinking concrete and isolation will protect them. They're wrong. Dominic's team flows out of vehicles with military precision, taking positions that have been planned down to the footstep. Snipers on surrounding rooftops. Assault teams at every entrance. Electronic countermeasures jamming communications. We've done this before, many times over the past 3 months. Cleaning up the remnants of Victor's organization, eliminating threats before they could coalesce into real danger. This is just one more operation, one more threat to neutralize. Except this time, my father is inside. All teams in position. Marcus reports through comms. Awaiting your order. Dominic looks at me, and I see the question in his eyes. Last chance to back out. Last chance to choose sentiment over strategy. I think about Lily's terrified face in that other warehouse. About my mother, peaceful in her garden, because she doesn't know the monsters circling. About the life I'm trying to build from the ashes of the old one. Do it, I say clearly. End this. Dominic nods once, then speaks into his comm. All teams, execute. I want prisoners for interrogation, but if anyone resists, a pause, heavy with meaning, put them down. The assault is surgical. Flashbangs through windows, followed by Dominic's teams pouring in with overwhelming force. We watch on tablets showing live feeds from body cameras, seeing it unfold in real time. The enemy was expecting a stealth approach, maybe a negotiation. They weren't expecting full-scale warfare. Within 90 seconds, most are on the ground, dead or restrained. I can't tell from the chaos on screen. Target located. Someone reports. Southeast corner, 2nd floor. He's with static crackles. Sir, you need to see this. Dominic and I exchange glances, then move together toward the warehouse entrance. Marcus and Patricia flank us, weapons ready, as we enter the aftermath of violence. Bodies on the floor, smoke from flashbangs, the copper smell of blood mixing with cordite. I've learned not to flinch at these scenes, to process them as data rather than horror. We climb stairs to the 2nd floor, following our team's directions. And there, in a corner office that probably belonged to a foreman once upon a time, we find my father. He's on his knees, zip-tied and terrified, surrounded by 3 of Dominic's men. But that's not what makes me freeze. It's the man standing behind him, gun pressed to the base of his skull. The man whose face I've seen in intelligence briefings dozens of times over the past 3 months. The man we've been hunting since that first threatening text. Dmitry Volkov, Victor's former partner. The real power behind their organization. And he's smiling. Ah, the happy couple, he says in heavily accented English. Right on schedule. I was beginning to think you wouldn't show. This is a trap, Patricia says unnecessarily. Weapon trained on Dimitri, but unable to shoot without hitting my father. Of course it's a trap. Dimitri's smile widens. Did you really think I'd give you everything so easily? That I'd let you dismantle my organization piece by piece without retaliation? You use my father as bait. Understanding crashes over me. You let him get captured, let him give up the document locations, knowing we track him here. Very good, Mrs. Carver. You're as clever as my intelligence suggested. Dimitri shifts his gun slightly, and I see my father flinch. Now here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me actual access to those documents, not the fake locations Jonathan so helpfully provided. And in exchange, I'll let Daddy Dearest live. Refuse, and he makes a graphic gesture with the gun. Shoot him, I say flatly. Everyone freezes. My father's eyes go wide with shock and betrayal. Dimitri actually laughs. I'm sorry, what? You heard me. Shoot him. I step forward, ignoring Patricia's warning hand on my arm. Jonathan Hartley has been nothing but a liability since this started. He's betrayed everyone who tried to help him, put his family in danger repeatedly, and frankly, I'm tired of watching him fail upward. So go ahead. Pull the trigger. Save me the trouble of dealing with him anymore. Emily, my father's voice cracks. Please, sweetheart, you don't mean that. Don't I? I look at him then. Really look at him. The man who raised me, who taught me to ride a bike and cheer at my gallery openings and cried when Mom got sick. The man who shot me in the chest and tried to trade my sister for his freedom. Tell me, Dad, give me one reason why your life is worth the documents that could bring down Dominic's entire operation. He opens his mouth, closes it, opens it again. No words come. That's what I thought. I turn back to Dimitri. Here's what's actually going to happen. Your organization is finished. Most of your men are dead or captured downstairs. We've been systematically destroying your infrastructure for 3 months. This building is surrounded by enough firepower to level the block. And you, I smile, channeling every ounce of Dominic's cold certainty. You have exactly one choice. Drop your weapon and surrender, or die here with my father. You're bluffing, but uncertainty creeps into Dimitri's expression. Am I? I pull out my phone, pulling up a screen that shows feeds from multiple locations. These are your other operations. The warehouses you're using to process stolen goods. The labs where you cut drugs. The safe houses where you thought you could hide. I tap a button, and one by one, the feeds show Dominic's teams pouring in. As we speak, every single one is being raided. In about, I check my watch, 3 minutes, your entire empire will cease to exist. Dimitri's face goes pale. You can't. We already did. Dominic's voice cuts through, cold and absolute. You made the fatal mistake of thinking we'd negotiate, of thinking Jonathan Hartley's life meant something to us. But Emily's right. He's just a liability. And we don't negotiate with liabilities. The room holds its breath. Dimitri's finger tightens on the trigger. My father starts to sob. And then Patricia's shot rings out. It's clean, precise, perfect. Dimitri's gun hand explodes in red. He staggers backward, screaming, weapon clattering to the floor. Before he can recover, Marcus and 2 others are on him, restraining him with brutal efficiency. My father collapses forward, sobbing with relief. Thank God. Thank God. Emily, I knew you wouldn't let me die. I knew. Take him into custody. I tell Marcus, cutting off whatever my father was about to say. Make sure the FBI gets him. Let them know he cooperated with enemy forces, gave up classified information, endangered ongoing operations. Whatever charges stick. Emily, please. My father reaches toward me, and I step back instinctively. Don't. The word comes out flat, emotionless. You stop being my father the moment you put your survival above mine, above Lily's, above everyone who ever tried to help you. I crouch down to his level, making sure he sees the certainty in my eyes. This is goodbye, Jonathan. Not because I don't forgive you. I actually do in a way. But because I can't trust you, and in this world, trust is everything. I'm your father. You're a genetic donor who made terrible choices. I stand, already turning away. Goodbye, Dad. I hope federal prison treats you better than you treated your family. I walk out without looking back, Dominic's hand finding mine as we exit. Behind us, I hear my father crying, pleading, bargaining right up until the moment Marcus's team hauls him away. I feel nothing, or maybe not nothing, maybe just peace. The kind of peace that comes from finally cutting away dead weight. From choosing the life I want over the life I inherited. You okay? Dominic asks quietly as we descend the stairs. Better than okay. And it's true. My chest feels lighter than it has in months. I'm free. Back at the compound. The aftermath takes hours to process. Dimitri's organization is destroyed. Every safe house raided. Every warehouse cleared. Every lieutenant captured or killed. The documents are secure. My mother is safe. Lily is safe. And my father is someone else's problem now. The FBI is thrilled, Patricia reports, looking exhausted but satisfied. Between Jonathan's cooperation, such as it is, and the intelligence we provided, they're looking at taking down 3 major criminal networks. They're calling it the biggest operation in a decade. Good for them. I'm sprawled on one of the command center sofas, still in tactical gear, too tired to change. Do they know about our involvement? Officially? No. Unofficially, I think Agent Roberts suspects but can't prove anything. Patricia grins. He thanked us for the anonymous tip. How generous of him. Dominic appears with glasses of whiskey, pressing one into my hand. To survival. To survival. I echo, downing half the glass in one swallow. The burn feels good. Real. Proof I'm alive despite everything. Lily wants to see you, Patricia says. She's been texting nonstop for the past hour. Tell her 10 minutes. I need to what? Process? Decompress? Figure out how I feel about basically condemning my father to prison? You need to sit here and drink your whiskey, Dominic finishes. Lily can wait 10 minutes. You're allowed to have a moment. So I sit and drink and let the weight of the past few hours slowly settle. 3 months ago, I was a struggling artist whose biggest worry was gallery representation. Now I'm sitting in a command center, covered in gun oil and the residue of violence, having just orchestrated the takedown of a criminal organization and the imprisonment of my own father. I should feel guilty, should feel like a monster. Instead, I just feel tired and oddly proud. I've changed, I say quietly. Haven't I? You've adapted. Dominic's arm comes around me, pulling me against his side. There's a difference. Is there? 3 months ago, I couldn't have done what I did tonight. Couldn't have looked my father in the eye and chosen strategy over sentiment. 3 months ago, you just survived your first firefight. You were in shock, traumatized, reacting on instinct. His hand strokes through my hair, soothing. Tonight, you made a conscious choice. That's not change, Devotchka. That's growth. Growth. I test the word. I've grown into someone who can sacrifice her father for the greater good. You've grown into someone who can see clearly, who can make hard decisions, who can protect the people she loves. He tilts my face up to his. That's not something to be ashamed of. That's strength. Maybe he's right. Maybe this is just who I always was, buried under years of conditioning that said family came first. That blood mattered more than anything. Or maybe I really have changed. Maybe Dominic has shaped me into something that looks like him. Cold, calculating, willing to do terrible things for the right reasons. Either way, I'm alive. Lily's alive. Mom's safe. And the threats that have been circling for 3 months are finally eliminated. If that makes me a monster, then I'll wear the label with pride. Come on, Dominic says, pulling me to my feet. Let's go see your sister. Show her we both made it home alive. Lily's waiting in her room. She's moved out of the safe room into permanent guest quarters weeks ago, decorated with her own things, and slowly starting to feel like home. She launches herself at me the moment the door opens. "You're okay," she breathes, hugging me so tight my ribs creak. I was so worried when I heard about Dad. Dad's fine. In custody, cooperating with the FBI. Mostly true. And we're fine. Everyone's fine. She pulls back, studying my face with uncomfortable perception. "You look different." "I'm just tired." "No, I mean," she searches for words. "You look harder, like you're carrying something heavy." Perceptive little sister. Just the weight of keeping everyone safe. "Did you have to?" She swallows hard. "Did you have to kill anyone?" "No." Also mostly true. I didn't personally pull any triggers tonight. But people died. Bad people who were trying to hurt our family. And that doesn't bother you? It should. I know it should. But when I examine my feelings honestly, I find only grim satisfaction. It bothers me less than it probably should. Is that what you're asking? Lily nods slowly. You've changed, Em, since you married Dominic. Since all this started. Sometimes I look at you and I don't recognize my sister anymore. The words sting more than I expected. I'm still me, Lils. Still your sister. Still the person who chose the greater good over family tonight. Who looked at Dad and chose to let him suffer consequences. Her voice isn't accusing, just observing. That's not the Emily I grew up with. That Emily would have found a way to save everyone. That Emily would have gotten everyone killed. The truth comes out harsher than intended. The world isn't kind, Lily. It's not fair. Sometimes you have to choose between bad options, and the only question is which bad option you can live with. And you can live with this? I think about my father's face, about the documents secure in their vaults, about this room, this compound, this life I built from the ashes of the old one. Yes, I say, finally, I can live with this. Because the alternative, watching you get hurt, watching Mom suffer, watching everyone I love pay the price for my weakness, that's not something I can survive. Lily hugs me again, gentler this time. I don't understand your world. Don't understand how you can do the things you do and still sleep at night. But I love you anyway, even when you scare me. I scare myself sometimes, I admit, but Dominic helps. He understands. Because he's made of the same scary stuff you're becoming. She pulls back, and there's worry in her eyes. Just don't lose yourself completely, okay? Remember that you were an artist once. Someone who created beauty instead of... She gestures vaguely at my tactical gear. Instead of orchestrating violence. I smile despite myself. I still paint, Lils. Still create. I just do other things too now. Promise me you'll hold on to that part of yourself. The part that made beauty. I promise. And I mean it. The paintings I've been working on lately are darker, more violent, but they're still art. Still beauty of a kind. Now get some rest. We all need it. I'm almost at the door when she calls out, Em, do you love him? Dominic, really love him, not just... She struggled for words. Not just because he saved us. I turn back, and the answer comes easier than expected. Yes, I love him. Not because he saved us, but because he sees me, all of me, even the dark parts, and loves me anyway. Because he makes me stronger instead of weaker. Because when I'm with him, I feel like I can survive anything. Even becoming a different person? Maybe I'm not becoming different. Maybe I'm just finally becoming who I was always meant to be. Lily doesn't look entirely convinced, but she nods. As long as you're happy. That's all that matters. Is happiness what this is? This strange mix of satisfaction and exhaustion, power and vulnerability, darkness and the fierce light of protection? Maybe. Or maybe it's something more complicated than simple happiness. Something that doesn't have a name yet. I find Dominic in his office, poring over reports from tonight's operations. He looks up when I enter, and his expression softens immediately. How's Lily? Worried, confused, struggling with who I've become. I sink into the chair across from his desk. She's not wrong to be concerned. You haven't become anything you weren't already, Emily. You just stop hiding it. He sets down his pen, giving me his full attention. The capacity for violence, for cold calculation, for choosing strategy over sentiment. That was always there. I just gave you permission to use it. Permission or corruption? Does it matter? At my sharp look, he sighs. I'm not trying to be glib. I genuinely don't know if there's a difference. But I do know this. The woman I fell in love with was fierce and strong and capable of anything. The woman sitting across from me now is just finally living up to that potential. By sacrificing my father, by choosing to protect the people who matter most. He stands, moving around the desk to pull me to my feet. Jonathan Hartley made his choices. You made yours. The fact that they led to consequences for him doesn't make you a monster. It makes you a survivor. I lean into him, breathing in a familiar scent. Expensive cologne and gun oil and something uniquely Dominic. I should feel worse about this. Maybe, or maybe you're just exhausted and need to process before the guilt sets in. His hands stroke up and down my back. Give it time. Let yourself feel whatever comes. I'll be here regardless. Promise? Always. He tilts my face up, and his kiss is gentle, reverent. You're mine, Emily Carver. For better or worse, in darkness and light. I'm not going anywhere. Even if I become as cold as you, his smile is soft, especially then. Who else would understand me? We stand there for a long moment, just holding each other. Outside, the city continues, oblivious of the war that just ended, to the empire that just fell, to the woman who chose survival over sentiment. Come to bed, Dominic murmurs finally. We both need rest. What about all this? I gesture at his desk, at the reports and intelligence summaries. Can wait until morning. Tonight, he laces his fingers with mine, leading me toward the door. Tonight is ours. No business. No enemies. Just us. In his bedroom. Our bedroom now. After 3 months of gradually merging our lives, I finally shed the tactical gear, strip away the armor and weapons until I'm just Emily again. Just a woman exhausted from a long day of impossible choices. Dominic pulls me into bed, and I curl against him automatically. His heartbeat is steady under my ear, grounding, real. Do you think Lily's right? I ask into the darkness. That I've changed too much? I think you changed exactly as much as you needed to. His hand strokes through my hair. And if you wake up tomorrow and decide you've gone too far, that you want to step back from this life, I'll support that too. Your happiness matters more than anything. Would you, though? Let me step back. I tilt my head to look at him. Or would you find ways to pull me back in, to make me essential to your operations? He considers the question seriously. Honestly, I don't know. I'd like to think I'd respect your choice. But I'm also selfish enough to want you by my side always. So probably somewhere in between, supporting your decision while subtly making it harder to walk away. At least you're honest about it. I try to be, with you at least. He kisses my forehead. Sleep, Devotchka. We'll figure out the rest tomorrow. I close my eyes, letting exhaustion pull me under. My last thought before sleep claims me is that despite everything, the violence, the choices, the transformation, I feel safe here, held, home. Maybe that makes me broken, or maybe it just makes me his. Either way, I'm done fighting it. Epilogue, 6 months later. The gallery opening is everything my first show wasn't. Packed with buyers, buzzing with genuine interest, the walls nearly bare from sales. My new series, Empire of Ashes, hangs in stark beauty, abstract violence rendered in shades of red and black, beauty born from destruction. They're powerful, a collector murmurs to her companion. Disturbing but captivating, like watching a war from a distance. If only she knew. Dominic appears at my elbow with champagne, devastatingly handsome in his suit. To the outside world, with a perfect power couple, the mysterious businessman and his artistic wife. They don't know about the compound, the weapons, the empire we built in shadows. And they never will. Congratulations, Mrs. Carver, he murmurs against my ear. You're a success. Because you bought half the paintings before the show even opened. I bought them because they're brilliant. And because I like supporting my wife's career. His hand finds a small of my back, possessive and familiar, though I draw the line at the self-portrait. That one's mine, not for sale. The painting in question shows a woman in armor, half light and half shadow, neither wholly one thing or the other. It's me transformed, changed, exactly what Lily worried about 6 months ago. But I'm okay with it now. Okay with being both artist and warrior, creator and destroyer, light and shadow intertwined. Emily, Lily appears to the crowd, dragging a guy I don't recognize. This is Marcus, yes, that Marcus, and we're dating now. Surprise. I stare at Dominic's head of security, who has the grace to look uncomfortable. You're dating my baby sister? With your husband's permission, he adds quickly, and multiple threats about what happens if I hurt her. Good. I hug Lily, grateful she's smiling, happy, moving forward despite everything. Make sure he treats you right, or I'll help Dominic hide the body. That's not as funny as you think it is, Marcus mutters. Who said I was joking? Patricia appears next, elegant in designer black. Your mother's asking for you. She's holding court by the bar. Mom, healthy enough now to attend gallery openings. Her cancer in remission thanks to experimental treatment Dominic's money provided. She doesn't know what he really does, what I've become. She just knows we saved her life. Some truths are better left in shadows. I find her surrounded by admirers, talking about my childhood with embarrassing enthusiasm. When she sees me, her face lights up. There's my girl, my brilliant, talented girl. She hugs me, and I let myself be hugged. Let myself be just a daughter for a moment, instead of everything else I've become. I'm so proud of you, she whispers, for surviving everything, for building this life, for being strong. If only she knew what that strength cost. But maybe that's okay. Maybe she doesn't need to know. Maybe it's enough that I know, that Dominic knows, that the people in this room who matter understand the woman I've become. The rest can have their illusions. Later, after the crowd thins and the gallery closes, Dominic and I stand alone in front of my self-portrait. His arms come around me from behind, chin resting on my shoulder. No regrets, he asks softly. I think about everything that led here. The contract that started it all. The violence and choices and impossible nights. My father, currently serving 15 years in federal prison. The enemy is defeated and the empire secured. The woman in the painting stares back at me. Powerful, dangerous, free. No regrets. I say, finally, just acceptance. Of what you become. Of who I always was. I turn in his arms, rising on tiptoes to kiss him. You didn't corrupt me, Dominic Carver. You just gave me permission to be myself. His smile is pure sin and satisfaction. Then let's go home, Mrs. Carver. I have plans for you. Do these plans involve those silk ropes you've been not so subtly leaving hints about? Among other things. He takes my hand, leading me toward the exit. I believe I promised to keep you thoroughly satisfied. Time to make good on that promise. We step out into New York night. The city sprawling before us, full of danger and possibility, and 1,000 small battles we'll fight to keep what's ours. But for tonight, for this moment, we're just us, Dominic and Emily, predator and willing prey. Two souls who found each other in darkness and chose to build an empire from the ashes. I love you, I say as we slide into the car. I know. His hand finds mine, fingers lacing together with practiced intimacy. I've loved you since the moment you challenged me at that first gallery. Since you looked at the monster I am and decided to stay anyway. Best decision I ever made. Second best, he corrects. The best was signing that contract. Everything else was just inevitable. Maybe he's right. Maybe from the moment I put pen to paper, this was always where we'd end up, partners in business and darkness, building something beautiful from violence and choice. As the car pulls away from the gallery, I catch one last glimpse of my painting in the window. The woman half in shadow, half in light. That's me. That's us. That's the life we've chosen. And I wouldn't change a single moment of it, even the ones that turn me into something I barely recognize. Especially those, because recognition is overrated. Power is better. And with Dominic beside me, I'm powerful enough to survive anything this world throws at us. Together, always, Forever. The end.